Well, hello and welcome along to Old Trafford for the fourth T20 International between England and India's women. The series currently sees India leading 2-1, England winning a thriller at the Kia Oval on Friday night to keep their hopes in the series alive. They won by 5 runs. They, at one point in the game, lost 9 wickets for 31 runs. But in the end, their total of 171 for 9 was enough to see them over the line after 2 pretty solid, hefty losses, I think it's fair to say, at Trent Bridge and then at Bristol. And so Old Trafford awaits for these two sides. England and India's women, match 4 of this 5-match T20 International Series. England once again have won the toss, and as they did at the Oval, they've elected to bat. Both sides unchanged. Alongside me, World Cup winner Alex Hartley. What are we expecting? I can see your floodlight to our left.
Yes, well, you know, she's shining bright, isn't she? What are we expecting? Well, she's not shining bright, she will be later. To be honest, in total honesty, I'm really surprised England won the other day. I think they got off to a brilliant start with the bat. 10-11 overs in, I thought England were on to get 220, 200, 220, but they just had that massive collapse, like you said, 9 for 31. I got out of a taxi at Edgbaston, and England were none down, and got into my room, out the lift, to get some dinner, and they'd been pulled out.
It's extraordinary. It really was, and you just didn't know where to turn. You look at that scorecard: 75 from Dunkley, 66 from White Hodge, and scores of 2, 2, 0, 4, 10, 0, 6, 0 and 1.
And then in the second innings, it was almost like, okay, India are cruising this, they look to be on top, and then again there was loads of wickets that fell in quick succession. So yes, England did really well to get themselves back into the game and win that game. Tammy Beaumont captain for the first time of this T20 team. But India have, for me, been the dominant team throughout this series, and I'm pretty sure they will be looking to bounce back today.
Just the second time these sides have faced each other at this venue. Got to go back to 1999 for the only other time. A one-day international that was won thrillingly by India. And interestingly, England have only played the one T20 international here previously. That was back in 2012, so rather unusual territory, but of course most of these players very familiar with the surroundings of these big test venues, either from playing for England or playing in the hundreds. So as they gather on the boundary edge, this will not be unusual territory for them. And I was just chatting to one of the local journalists downstairs in the press lounge, saying that in terms of crowds, this has been pretty good for this time of build up towards the match, and that it was some decent numbers out there as well. And certainly, while that big temporary stand is not open to the public, everywhere else you look, there's a really good contingent of supporters. Here come the umpires with the flames going up. Umpires Anna Harris and Ian Blackwell, and here come the Indian fielding unit in their blue uniforms with the orange sleeves. And I'll go through the two sides for you. England with Danny White Hodge, Sophia Dunkley, Alice Capsey, Tammy Beaumont captaining the side once again. In the absence of the injured Nat Sivabrunt, who will be fit for the ODI series that follows this. Then it's Amy Jones, Paige Schofield, Sophie Eccleston playing her 100th T20 International. She had her cap presented to her by, I know you know the answer, I reckon I could give 1,000 guesses and people wouldn't get it. It was Phil Jagielka, the former Everton defender. Then it's Izzy Wong, Charlie Dean, Lauren Filer and Lauren Bell. So that's how England line up. India with Smriti Mandana, Shafali Verma, Harmanpreet Kaur the captain, Jamima Rodriguez, Amanjot Kaur, Richa Ghosh keeping wicket, Deepti Sharma, Radha Yadav, Arundhati Reddy, Sneh Rana, and the rather breakout star in this series, Sri Charani, the left arm spinner. One piece of news from the Indian camp, by the way. Deepti Sharma has pulled out of this year's 100 for the London Spirit. So,
I saw that.
Yeah, it's a big loss for them.
Huge loss. They've replaced her with Charlie Knott.
Yes.
But yeah, she wants to manage her workload, which is completely fair.
Fair enough. So we're ready to go, Alex. And historically, in recent times, not a ground that has seen huge numbers of runs scored since 2022. First innings score in women's T20 internationals, women's T20s, is just 121.
Big ground, hard ground to score boundaries on, because the surface offers a little bit for a bowler. It's one of those grounds where actually playing squarer is better here normally, rather than playing with a straight bat. So it's one of those where, as females, we're normally stronger back down the ground with a straight bat and looking to go almost drag it to cow, but actually you want to be playing square of the wicket, so it is always a tougher ground to score runs on.
Yeah.
Great to be a bowler though.
Yep. And you can protect those little pockets rather effectively, can't you? That's the thing. Right then, here we go. We're going to see from the far end of the ground, Amanjot Kaur have a bowl. The Jimmy Anderson Pavilion is behind her. The Sir Jimmy Anderson end of the ground. Floodlights not on at the moment. A few wispy clouds overhead. We're ready to go. Here comes Amanjot over the wicket, and Dunkley shovels the ball in the air over the head of Shafali Verma at mid-wicket. She'll get 2 at least. Possibly a 3rd if White Hodge is brave, and she's not, probably sensibly. And England 2 without loss.
One of those grounds here where, as a spinner in particular, or if you're bowling pace off, it's a great ground to bowl on. I never did well here though, really.
Which is surprising because it's your home ground.
I know. I didn't play that much.
You thought, well, yeah, you'd have thought you'd know the conditions, but no, it doesn't always work that way. Here comes Amanjot bowling to Dunkley, gets a bit of a freebie. She's missed out on as it's hacked into the leg side, out towards that big temporary stand. For just the 1 run, she could have put it anywhere, but instead goes straight to Smriti Mandana, and Wyatt Hodge will be on strike, having had a really remarkably terrible run of scores, which she finally put paid to. After that really disappointing run that saw 8 deliveries consecutive in Women's T20 International, seeing wicket, 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 dot, dot, 1 wicket, 1 wicket, which is not a great run of scores, really. But she played very nicely in the last match to score that 66 or 42. She waits now the right-hander and is crabbily forward in defence. A reminder, highlights tonight, available for you to watch on the Red Button and iPlayer of this match from 11 p.m. and at your leisure, and then also tomorrow morning, 10:25 of cricket. The men's test series locked at 1-1, the return of Jofra Archer after 4 years absent.
I'm worried.
What for his?
For England, actually.
Oh, are you?
I'm worried for Bryden Carse.
Oh, his toe.
Yeah.
Amanjot from the far end again. This seam bowling to Wyatt Hodge, that's nicely timed, out towards the deep, but Rodrigues is such a quick fielder, she gets around swiftly. England pick up a couple of runs, and this is what these two did the other night. Ran really hard, worked for every single run, and they do so once again. England 5 without loss after 4 balls.
What were the boundaries like the other night? Very similar to this, quite big?
Yeah, quite big. Yeah, they certainly weren't the sort of boundaries where you think, ooh, that's coming close. I think, actually, the women's game has moved on from that, myself. Amanjot is going to bowl with protection square on both the leg and offside. And she runs into bowl next delivery, which is chopped down on past the diving Radha Yadav, who gets airborne at backward point, but it goes out to Rodrigues. The crowd applaud. Another run for England. 6 without loss. What have you been up to, Al?
I was at the test match.
Lovely.
And then I've just had a few days away, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah. Been gallivanting. It's been a summer of fun, actually, Henry.
You never are not gallivanting.
Yeah, well, I thought, you know what, this year, when I'm not at work, I'm going to just enjoy life and not just sit around at home waiting for the next day of work.
Well, that's very sensible. Here comes Amanjot to finish the over, driven by Dunkley with no timing, up towards mid-on. End of the over, 6 without loss. England having won the toss, electing to bat first and looking for a win that would level up this series. So what particular element of fun have the last few days seen?
It's not been fun, but it's just not been at home.
Okay, so you've had a little trip away. Nice. Yeah. What a laugh, hey?
Yeah, no, it's been lovely. A couple of glasses of wine, went for a run.
One of those things I can believe more than the other.
Yeah, no, I did. I went for a run.
How far did you go?
4 kilometres.
Hey.
Yeah.
4K, so.
I'm more of a 5K girl, but I just couldn't be bothered, so I stopped.
Yeah, it's not how Paula Radcliffe approached the marathon, fortunately.
Well, she did stop.
Why did I do this? What have I done? Dipti Sharma's going to have a bowl. Blink and you'll miss Dipti Sharma this summer in England. As I mentioned, she's heading away after this tour of England, not playing for the London Spirit in this year's 100 because workload management. She's going to bowl her off spin with Wyatt Hodge on strike, rocking back in the crease and just easing the ball down the ground towards Rodrigues, who scampers in from below us at this end of the ground, which is, I think, pretty much, now this ground is almost all complete in terms of the renovations, isn't it? Because you've got the temporary stand to our left, and then these three big red buildings are now the new hotel over to our right, which is sort of silver. Deepti Sharma bowls to Dunkley, who's deep in the crease, clipping towards the leg side for a single. 8 without loss.
Doesn't match though, does it, the silver?
No, I don't know why they've done that, really.
Well, I heard a rumour they ran out of money, but then I asked the CEO and he said, no, that's just the design.
Because everything's red. You've got the point over on the far side, and then you've got one of the hotels, this end of the ground, all clad in this red steel.
And the red seats in the pavilion are red.
Very much so.
Strange.
And then that new hotel with lots of spectators on the balconies.
Crossy's got her own room in there, the Kate Cross Suite.
Do you think she gets use of it any time she wants?
If she pays for it, yeah.
Here comes Deepti Sharma. Down the track, looking to try and get runs straight back over the bowler's head. Not timing it at all. It goes not a million miles away from the hands of Sneh Rana. And there will be a little look at this, because a direct hit meant that Dunkley had to really put the acceleration on. In fact, it wasn't quite a direct hit. It went into the gloves of Richa Ghosh. But she quickly whipped the bails off, and umpire Ian Blackwell has said, well, we'll have a little look at this. My feeling is probably it's okay for England, but she was a little slow, and yeah, she's home by a foot or so. So it won't be the first wicket, but it was just for a moment a degree of concern for Dunkley. You've got the most enormous water bottle, Alex. I'm going to have to ask you to move it, because it's in the way of the screen. Thank you.
Stan. My water bottle.
You've named it. Oh.
Carry him around everywhere.
Well, it's very simple. You get these water bottles now, don't you, that say, you know, keep on going, keep drinking.
Yeah.
Your 2 litres a day or whatever. Yeah.
11 a.m.
Deepti Sharma to bowl again. Not out, says the big screen. England 9 without loss. Deep bowls, and deep in the crease is Dunkley. That's a good bit of captaincy from Harmanpreet to have that fielder very short at mid-wicket, just to prevent any quick singles being nudged into the onside. Deepti Sharma again. Past umpire Anna Harris, and over the wicket. She's in, and forward comes Dunkley. Nicely eased up the ground for one more. They look confident, these two. And this is an interesting little battle, because for me, Wyatt Hodge and Dunkley playing so well the other night look a lot more relaxed at this point in their innings. They're not trying to hit their way into form.
Yeah, I'm really surprised India haven't gone left arm spin in the power play to Wyatt Hodge, though.
Yeah.
It's one of the first things I'd be doing.
Yeah. Since the start of 2023, a good little stat coming for you, Al. Deepti Sharma manoeuvres the field minutely over to our right. The fielder at deep mid-wicket goes 3 paces to her left, I reckon. But now Deepti's happy. Here comes Deepti Sharma. This is hammered back to order with the cross-batted heave from Wyatt Hodge. And a good over that from Deepti Sharma. 4 runs coming from it. England 10 without loss. Winning the toss, electing to bat first. So since the start of 2023, India's power play strike rate with the ball just 22. And they've taken 70 wickets, so no team has more in that phase across the timeline, so it's a real strength of theirs. So, keep an eye on that. Right then, who are we going to see here? I think it might be what you called for, a bit of left arm spin. Sri Charani, who has had a brilliant year, honestly, having not even made a WPL debut up until this year. Suddenly somebody that's really made an impact coming in and not just taking wickets, but bowling with real control. It's been fabulous to see again how the WPL has managed to find these players that do have what it takes. She's only 20 years old, approaching 21, but that breakthrough for the Delhi Capital, she's been outstanding. Here she comes now, round the wicket, left arm spin, and this is hammered through the offside. That's a poor piece of fielding, and Deepti Sharma looks accusingly at one of the used wicket ends. I think she'll be looking at her hands, probably, as the more responsible party, but it is 4 runs. And England get their first boundary of the innings. That was nicely struck, rocking back from Sophia Dunkley.
really nice shot from Dunkley. It does just skip off one of those used wicket ends, but Deepti Sharma gets herself into a bit of a tangle and gets herself into a bad position. I think left arm spin's the right option. I just think it's too late in the power play.
In front of the umpire now, here comes Shriti Rani, and Dunkley will defend, looking for a run down the track. For a couple of paces she comes, decides against it, probably wisely. And England remain at 14 without loss. Rani with the shirt untucked and the short sleeves and the headband. Moving forward now. And forward comes Dunkley, hammering the ball in the air, down the ground for 6. Well, that's a shot she likes to play. Over long on it goes. And a show of aggression from the England opener. 20 without loss.
And when we were talking about the boundary sizes just before and how, Henry, you were saying the women's game's past it, that's exactly why. That's a 6 on any ground.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the world. If you're a 6 hitter, you're clearing the ropes, whatever size the boundaries are.
Powerful player is Dunkley. Sharani into her work again. Dunkley, this time off the back foot, punching towards Harmanpreet Kaur, the India captain, at cover, and there's no run. Well, she took a chance there, Dunkley, because keeper up to the stumps with the left arm spin. She missed, she was gone, but backed herself. And England 20 without loss. Deep mid-wicket and long offer out, and Dunkley comes forward, clipping the ball out towards that deep mid-wicket fielder, and Wyatt Hodge puts up her hand as if stopping traffic to say, no room for a second.
I would absolutely love a slip here for just this last ball, just to try and put a bit of pressure on Wyatt Hodge.
Well, they're not going to do that. The field's going to remain the same. Long off goes a little bit wider, that's the only change. Here comes the final ball of the over. Wyatt Hodge gets underneath it. Now, can a fielder get there at mid-on? Should be taken, and it is. And left arm spin accounts for Danny Wyatt Hodge. The first wicket falls. England 21 for 1. It was up there a long time, but Arundhati Reddy steadied herself. Reddy, steady, takes the catch.
Well, we were talking about left arm spin, and I think she's shown that she's got a little bit of a weakness to left arm spin over the last series or so against the West Indies, and now here. I was calling for it in the first over, but actually it's been an expensive over for her, but she does get the big wicket of Wyatt Hodge, who got runs in that first game. She's been flying as Wyatt Hodge in the T20 Blast. Scored so many runs for Surrey, but just has a little bit of a blip when it comes to international cricket at the minute.
Well, we rather wondered if it was a return to form in the last game, but not so in terms of consistency. A single figure total for her, 5 from 7 is not the return you want as an opener in T20 cricket. And it brings Alice Capsey to the crease, amazingly playing her 45th T20 international. But in that time she averages just 19.5, which doesn't feel very many to me for a player of her undoubted ability.
I know, when she first burst onto the scene in 2021, first year of the 100, wasn't it? Everyone was an exceptional player. She still is an exceptional player. She just hasn't quite scored the amount of runs consistently as we first thought she might.
Well, start of a new over sees her smash down the ground. It's not far from the hands of the bowler Reddy, but Dunkley instead only finds the fielder Mandana waiting at mid-on, so it'll be a dot ball, 21 for 1.
It's quite an intimidating mid-on and mid-off, really, isn't it? Smitty, Mandana, Harmanpreet Kaur.
Yeah, there's a lot of runs there.
Yeah.
Experience, know-how. Mandana, who got 100 at Trent Bridge, her first in T20 internationals. Full delivery is clipped up towards the left-handed superstar at mid-on. And the score 21 for 1.
She's coming on the podcast, Henry.
Is she?
She's coming on No Balls. She is indeed.
Ooh, what are you going to ask her?
What are we going to ask her?
Yeah.
Probably talk about the fact that one of her teammates said it's about time you score 100, and then she did it the very next game.
I like that. Can you ask her about when the eye roll she gave me when I interviewed her before the match? 16 without loss. Dunkley hits that with sweet timing out to deep mid-wicket, and Jemima Rodriguez single taken. Capsey will be on strike for the first time, 22 for 1. In fairness, she was getting ready to open the batting, and I was asking more questions than was necessary. Well, not necessary, than she wanted. And she answered them all very well, but I could tell the last one, she thought, oh, please, I need to go and get my pads on.
I got an eye roll from Shubman Gill as well doing similar.
Did you?
Yeah.
What is it about these superstar players? You know, we just have that effect. That when I used to interview you when you played.
I never did interviews. I don't think the ECB trusted me to do interviews.
Really? Arundhati Reddy bowls. It's sliced away by Capsey towards backward points, and Radayadav, who will pick up, no run.
8 years ago today, I did my first and only ever press conference.
Really? Was that after you bowled Meg Lanning in that game at Bristol?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that on the socials earlier.
Yeah, I was so surprised when I woke up this morning. Well, this morning, it's probably about this afternoon. And it said, ICC want you to collab on a post. I was like, pardon?
I know. Arundhati Reddy, right arm over with a full loopy delivery. Must be out of the back of the hand, that. And it goes drooping towards mid-on. No run there. Capsey none from 2. England 22 for 1. There's a lovely ball, just squirmed under the bat.
Well bowled, I'd say.
It was. You foxed her.
Not quite as good when you just watch a singular, because I set her up, you know?
Yeah.
Quicker one, slower one, quicker one.
Arundhati Reddy bowls to Capsey, who's going to get runs there, square on the leg side. Hustles through for the first and gets there quickly, won't get a second. And the over comes to an end. 4 gone. 23 for 1 is the score. England winning the toss, electing to bat first.
She's quick between the wickets, Capsey, isn't she? Really quick.
Lightning. You can watch highlights of this as the match is ongoing on the BBC Sport website and app, by the way. Where lots of you I know have been following the efforts of the Lionesses. We won't say the score though, Alex.
Why?
Because some people will be waiting to watch it in full on catch-up.
Oh, really? Well, I'll just look at the score.
You can look at the score.
Nice.
But we're not going to mention it. Nice, but for who? Right then, 23 for 1. Shreyas Irani is going to bowl for the far end of the ground. A few bottles get hurled into a recycling bin somewhere. Capsey with a reverse sweep, plays it nicely, but straight to the hands of Sneh Rana at short third. Degree of risk to the stroke, but she does play it well. 23 for 1. Capsey, who in the last game made 2 from 3. And from prior to that, 5 from 8. In comes Shreyas Irani, and Capsey goes hard at that, looking to sweep into the leg side. Instead, gets a top edge, and in pursuit is Shafali Verma, and she gives up the chase. And I'm not sure she necessarily had to. I think she could have hauled that in. She came sprinting down towards us, but the ball wins the race despite slowing up rather. 27 for 1. Capsey gets a somewhat unconvincing boundary, but she won't mind that.
No, she won't mind. Everyone matters when you're shy of them as well, doesn't it? But looking to sweep the ball as square leg is up inside the ring, gets a big top edge and squirts down to the boundary.
The sunshine, Irani in again with a left arm spin forward, pushing into the offside. Little bit of hesitation, could be trouble. Had there'd been less hesitation in the field as well, actually, from Harmanpreet. It could have ended up being a bit more pressure on Sophia Dunkley, but she gets home. I'm not sure that was the wisest run.
Well, no, it was a peculiar run because Capsey's played the shot, checked the shot, watched the ball. As Harmanpreet's gone to pick it up, decided to run. Harmanpreet's gone, bowler's end, keeper's end, keeper.
It was a little bit nervy. Midway through the 5th over, England 28 for 1. And Dunkley chops down on a ball that goes towards backward point. And there'll be no run. The floodlights at the moment not shining, but they'll be turned on in due course. This game almost in the middle of summer, so of course, though it's 10 to 7, still beautifully light, shadows lengthening a touch. See a couple of the India coaching staff on the boundary to our right, with the shadows emanating from their heels back towards the hotel. Swiping hard across the line. Dunkley's going to get 4. Again, it's that cross-batted slap. Couple of bounces, and away it goes. She moves to 21.
Brilliant shot, though, isn't it? The way that she cracks her, uses that bottom hand whip of the wrists. She can go straight back down the ground, and she can just drag the ball with that bottom hand up and over mid-on.
Dunkley waits. 32 for 1. Final ball of the 5th over. And she's going to get a single into the onside if she's quick. Dipti Sharma picks up, but Dunkley is safely home. The over comes to an end. And I am going to get out of the way, Alex, because Alison Mitchell is standing by to take up commentary with the sun shining and England having lost just the 1 wicket so far, but playing nicely at 33 for 1 after 5.
Yeah, they are playing nicely indeed. Capsey just struggling a little bit to find the gaps. Obviously that top edge that went for 4, but Sophia Dunkley just looks in fine touch, fine form. It's good. I know she's been at the top of the order for a while again, but it's good to see her up there and scoring runs. Ali.
Hello, Alex.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Haven't seen you for a little while.
Well,
so
you've
we haven't been on commentary together for a while.
You've been big dogging. Big dogging
bit
at
of
Wimbledon,
tennis,
yeah.
bit of tennis with Isha there as well.
Yeah.
It's quite nice. Had a little bit of cricket tennis crossover for a week.
Lovely.
So yeah, back into the cricket, and it's good that there's so much riding on this match, isn't there? With England needing to win to keep themselves alive in the series, and India, well, if they secure the series, they've never won a T20 international series in England before. So much to play for. Deepti Sharma in now to Dunkley, goes back across the line, finds square leg, drops to the ground. Certainly saves a single.
That hurts at square leg, that, because she's absolutely crunched it.
Hit hard, right?
Yeah, it hit really
Low.
hard.
Stinger for the fingers. Now a deep square leg, who's got the sun in her eyes. Forward, big outside edge, caught a backward point, a tumbling take, and the ball is flung away, and it's Radha Yadav with the catch. And Dunkley had been hitting some big shots, but she's now gone for just 22. The Indian flags are flying. England 33 for 2 in the 6th over.
Well, I'll tell you what, that wicket's come from that decent bit of fielding at square leg the ball before, because this time she's decided that she's going to try and go up and over extra cover, thick outside edge, and a decent catch from Radha Yadav. And England have found themselves 2 down inside the power play. Captain Tammy Beaumont comes to the crease. And England will know, after the fantastic start that they had the other day, they lost quick wickets, and, well, they didn't score very many runs for those quick wickets either, so a bit of pressure on England here.
Yeah, they did well in the end to defend their total, didn't they, at the Oval, for it was a tight victory in the end. But yeah, 5.2 overs into this match, and Tammy Beaumont's out at 33 for 2. Yeah, it was a good catch from Radha Yadav, wasn't it? Diving forward, taking it quite low to the ground, and a big fling away of the ball when she got to her feet. So Beaumont comes out. Shadows are starting to lengthen beneath the players' feet. Have you checked on your floodlight, Alex?
She's just off at the minute.
She's just leaning over,
Yeah,
isn't she? In a
lovely, lovely shadow across the ground, though.
full of anticipation of what the night has in store.
It's not really needed this time of year.
Not until much later. A bit of a night owl kind of floodlight. Sharma in then. Beaumont, first ball goes back and looks to play across into the leg side, but the ball comes off a leading edge back up the pitch and into the hands of Deepti. He's got her sunglasses on. So 2 fielders out, both on the leg side, and both would be tricky catches because they are looking directly into the sun. Deepti in, reverse sweep, played neatly down towards deep third, picked up halfway between the 30-yard circle and the boundary rope. And it's just the one in the end. They came back. That was just the one. Yeah, 34 for 2. So Beaumont's off the mark and Capsey on strike again. So bit of changing around going in the field.
Yeah, I don't mind this for Capsey because she plays that reverse so well.
So they're plugging the offside and getting an extra fielder behind square on that offside. So only 2 in the circle on the leg side now.
I was going to say they need a square leg and they have.
Yeah,
Put someone in square.
Just moved fielder into position. So the fielders out are long on, and then a deep mid-wicket who's standing in front of square. Deepti in now, and then a false delivery. Oh, was she? That was that little warning to Beaumont at the non-strikers end. Just stay in your crease. She didn't release the ball. Oh, Deepti Sharma, Charlie Dean, memories of Lords. Outside the off stump and a miss here from Capsey. Looking to play it late into the gloves of the keeper.
So it's not a new thing for Deepti Sharma to do that. She's done it for years and years and years, but quite often her next ball always used to be a rank delivery.
Sharma in again, a little more air this time, up and over, out towards the deep. There are 2 fielders there, bisects them and goes for 4. Well, she found the gap perfectly. Boundary for England and for Capsey. 38 for 2 now, Capsey on to 10.
But it seems like over the last year or so, she's kind of got that better. So she goes for the warning or the mankad, as we've seen in the past. Then her next delivery used to be horrific, but she's sort of takes a breath at the top of her mark now and doesn't get too excited, calms down.
Steadies herself. She hasn't affected another run out of the non-striker's end, has she, since then?
No.
Just given the warnings?
No, because that was, England were going to win that game, and that was the only way India were going to win, or it felt like they were going to win.
It was an effective use of. I mean, you're a bowler, Al. I mean, are you in favour of the it's in the laws and it's allowed, and you wouldn't do it?
I would do it. No, I'd do it as a joke. I would definitely do it as a joke and say, no, I'm just kidding, come back, but stay in your crease.
Well, I think it's pretty fair to give one warning, a bit like she's done. Put a batter on notice, and then sure, if they do it again, affect the run out, because it is allowed. Right, 38 for 2. You're shaking your head.
You've got to be consistent with it, though.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it more than once. No, do it every game.
Well, she does do a warning every game, doesn't she? Maybe after that, the batters are doing what they're supposed to do. Yeah. Don't leave the crease early. Right, 4 in the ring on the offside here. Radha Yadav on to bowl the 7th over of the innings. So 38 off the power play for England. They've lost 2 wickets, and a sweep attempt here from Beaumont. Dribbles down towards short fine leg, and there's no run. So 38 in this first power play. And we mentioned earlier the average scores here since 2022, 121 in T20 internationals. Whipped away quite wristily behind square by Beaumont. Sets off for one, finds one of those 2 fielders in the deep. We've got 4 on the leg side. We've got 4 out now because we're beyond that power play. So we've got deep backwards square leg. Another fielder at sort of cow corner. We've got a long on as well and long off, both back. So Yadav moves in. And tickle away towards the vacant mid-on region, down towards the boundary, able to take a single. Capsy gets down to the far end. And England 39 becomes 40 for 2 in this 7th over. Yadav again waits, pauses, and then moves into the crease. Little dip of the knees here from Beaumont. He chips this down the ground once more in controlled fashion towards long on, takes another single. So you're off to Wimbledon, aren't you, Alex?
Yes, I am. I'm going as a fan, which I'm very excited about.
It is great fun being able to watch sport as a fan, actually, when you work in it a lot.
Yeah.
Around the wicket here with the left arm spin, or leading edge back up the pitch and into the hands of the bowler.
Yeah, I was very lucky to go to the final, the men's final last year. I'm off to the men's semi-final on Friday.
Fabulous. Yadav. Tall for spinner. In she goes again. And Capsy tickles her into the vacant mid-wicket region. They'll take one quickly. Will they push for 2? No, they think better of it. One of the fielders from the deep. 2 out there, comes running in, picks up, sends the ball back in. 7 overs gone from the 20. England 42 for 2, having lost Danny Wyatt-Hodge a catch to Arundhati Reddy in the mid-on. It was a skyer. She was trying to heave it down the ground. Chirani, the left-arm spinner, was out for 5, and then Sophia Dunkley was caught at backward points off Deepti Sharma for 22. I did a Sonic Cartel match at Wimbledon, and she played cricket, actually, and up until about the age of 13. She was
really?
Football and cricket. And she was a bit of a batter, which sort of goes with becoming, being a tennis player as well.
She's one of those who's good at everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine having that choice. Shall I, cricket, football, or shall I be a professional tennis player?
Which one's got the most money in it? Tennis.
Well, cricket could give that a good run for its money now. Down the track here, hitting the ball hard and flat down towards Deepti Sharma at long off. Just the single taken. Ball comes back into the middle. Flags flying on top of the Victorian Pavilion opposite us. With 2 bright red, pillar box red hospitality suites in the hotel either side. Packed on the hospitality balcony, isn't it?
Yeah.
And nobody in the car park watching the Lionesses.
No.
That was happening during the warm-ups, wasn't it?
Cricket's on in the car park now.
Sneh Rana, that new bowler again, India mixing things up, worked along the ground. Down to long on, and there is Jemima Rodriguez to moving off the boundary to pick up.
Yeah, I got invited to hospitality today. I thought, that would be nice. Oh no, I'm working.
Hospitality here?
Yeah.
Imagine if you said yes.
Yeah. I'll go watch.
Rana in outside the off stump, heaved out towards deep mid-wicket. It was in the air, safe because there's no fielders inside the ring there. Fielded in the deep. And another one added. England at the moment trying to do it in singles, picking them off. We would have had to have crossed you via radio, Mike. You could have watched from that balcony. Different sort of view from the other side of the ground. Rana in, takes a bit of pace off and beautifully threaded through the gap. The fielder's up on that offside, and it's a boundary for Beaumont. He's laced it through the cover region.
Feels like through the covers to the spinners at the minute is the only way England are going to get a boundary, because the boundaries are big. It's hard if you've got to nail the ball square of a wicket to try and find that boundary.
Rana in again outside the off stump, and she eyes up, offside again, beats the fielder, and this is going for 4 more. It's smart play, recognising where the fielder's up. Back-to-back boundaries, taking England on to 53 for 2.
So twice in a row now, Beaumont's cleared that front leg, given herself room outside leg stump and cut the ball through the covers. It's clever batting from Beaumont, just manipulating the field, because now the bowler is having to speak to the captain. Do we want a change of field? No, I'm going to have a change of angle instead.
So off spin, switching to around the wicket, and see if this makes a difference. Can it cramp Beaumont at all? Beaumont awaits, and she goes leg side. It won't be the boundary. There's protection on that side of the ground, but turns over the strike again for another single. 54 for 2 now, and Beaumont at the end of that over is 13 not out, alongside Capsey on 14. We've had 8 of the 20. Capsey in double figures then for the first time this T20 series, Al. She 5, 5 and 2 so far, having come up the order from number 6.
Yeah, she's due a score, isn't she? You feel like someone of her calibre. We saw it during the Ashes. I know that was in 2023, but she had that quick 50 at Lords in the T20 there, and you almost feel like one of those is around the corner for Alice Capsey.
Yeah, it makes such an impression. Now the opening bowler, Amanjot Kaur, is returning for, this will be her third, I think, will it be? No, just the one she bowled at the top, just opened, and then Harmanpreet Kaur has been really rotating her bowlers quickly, which doesn't allow a batter to settle at all, does it, when you're making a change every over?
Yeah, no, I like that as well, because as you say, your batters aren't settled. They're constantly thinking about different boundary options.
So here is Amanjot Kaur, right arm medium pacer in evening sunshine here, full, and Beaumont was looking as if she wanted to whip her through mid-wicket, but back up the pitch and into the hands of the bowler.
It's that time of evening which shows you exactly why Old Trafford or Lancashire ended up changing the square.
Yes.
And swapping it round, because if you were batting from the end that looks directly into the sun now, you'd have no chance.
Oh, we're probably going to have sun stops play. It's happened in Derby as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Kaur moves in. Amanjot this is. Doesn't get hold of this one, Beaumont, but setting off for a quick single because the field is deep on that leg side. It was the bowler initially thinking she could chase after it to her right, but left it. So the field is in the deep, coming running in, and Harmanpreet is there to pick up as well. Yep, your shadow is getting longer, Al, across the ground. Alex Hartley floodlight is almost reaching the full width of the ground now, across the opposite boundary.
I'm a grower.
Said Alex never. It's a beautiful evening though, and a really good crowd. 9,000 tickets were sold in advance for this game. And of course the big party stand isn't populated, but all the point and the pavilion and the stands away to our left, right, and people in the balcony of the hotel. Capsey gets this away through point out to the deep, and Sharma is there to field. Another one added. 55 for 2.
I know Lancs wanted to break the record, but I'm not sure
what the record is,
or if they'll have done it.
Is Daniel Gidney on?
Daniel
getting on. He'll be listening.
Yeah,
Send
I
us a
feel like
text.
there was a few in at the Oval the other day though. That felt like a big crowd.
That was a cracking atmosphere, wasn't it, there to see England to that win. Amanjot comes in again, full, lofted, out towards the leg side. Fielder comes running in, isn't going to make it. It's fallen just short. Throw comes back in. Oh, for a moment, the fielder might have been in the game. I thought it actually travelled further than it did off the bat of Beaumont.
Well, you're sort of thinking, could mid-wicket have done a bit of a better job out there, actually? And running a little bit quicker, potentially dive forward instead of just picking the ball up on the bounce. I can't actually see who it is out there because of the sun.
Yeah, there wasn't great intent to the movement, was there? Capsey chipping this one a little finer now, down towards long on. Another single. Ball comes back in on the bounce. 57 for 2. 15 for Beaumont, 16 for Capsey. England having to do a bit of a rebuild after Sophia Dunkley and Danny Wyatt-Hodge were dismissed inside the power play. Wyatt-Hodge for 5, Dunkley for 22. England were 33 for 2. There's that familiar flex of the knees from Beaumont as she awaits. And Amanjot is in, brings that bat down quickly towards extra cover. Straight to the fielder though, couldn't pierce that infield, so dot ball to end the over. So 10 runs from the 2 that Amanjot Kaur has bowled, and England are 58 for 2 after 9. Some Deepti Sharma stats coming in from Hypercourse, thank you very much. The 6th woman to take 300 wickets in all international formats. So that was the wicket of Sophia Dunkley then for that landmark. So we could throw it out to people to name the other 5.
Yeah,
or we can, we can use the
names.
helpful. Yes.
There's some big names in there. I wonder if anyone's going to get in touch and have a guess.
All international formats. Well, in terms of nationalities,
South Africa, Australia,
one
England.
Australian, one English player, one South African, one West Indian.
Bit licorice, all sorts.
You can probably guess who's at the top. So Arundhati ready. In now, Capsey backed away a little bit to leg to then steer that out to the deep on the leg side. Hana comes in from the deep to pick up 59 for 2. Capsey on to 17.
I've had clarification of the record that
Excellent.
wanted to be broken
Yeah.
/ set. It was basically a made-up record.
A made-up record.
Yeah, I'll read it out.
Ready, moves in wide of the crease, and this is drilled along the ground only as far as Harmanpreet at mid-off, and there's no run.
The venue aims to set a new record for the highest women's international crowd in the north.
Oh, in the north?
Currently held by Headingley of 9,146.
Oh, okay. So there's a bit of healthy competition between all the grounds in the north.
But
So
there's only 2 of them, really. Oh, I suppose
who's that?
Durham.
Durham's
3 of
hosted.
them. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
where does the north
define
begin?
Define the north. Actually, it's the north. It's not the really north, so it doesn't include Durham.
Oh, it's just basically either side of the pen lines. Is that what we're saying? Ready, moves into Beaumont. A low sweep behind square. Very late pick up from the backward square. Blinded by the sun, and it's gone for 4. And Risha Ghosh there behind the stumps is gesturing with her hand as if to say, why didn't you move? And then the fielder just raises both arms as if to say, I just didn't see it.
And it's that light again, isn't it? The sun setting behind that party stand. And when you can't see it, you've got absolutely no hope. You're almost guessing. You're waiting for the wicketkeeper or somebody to shout to your left, to your right.
And would a visor not help, or is the sun just too low for that even? Beaumont gets almost a Yorker. Puff of dust as she drills it back up the pitch into the hands of Reddy. Sunglasses are on, but both players have been shielding their eyes with the sun. Thinking,
Yeah,
get a baseball cap on, perhaps.
Yeah, the lack of cap, I have no sympathy.
Big dark shadow being cast by the point at the moment that's stretching across the ground. Ready in here to Beaumont, who's on 19. Another foolish delivery. Chips it's in the air momentarily and then out safe towards deep mid-wicket. Beaumont takes another 1. Throw comes back in on the bounce to Ready. So Beaumont 20, Capsey on strike on 19. Last ball of the 10th over. England are 64 for 2, which you feel that would put them on track, or they should better the average score from where they are. With wickets in hand. Ready, it's a full toss. Gone through everything. Cross-batted shot from Capsey, misses, as does Ghosh, and it's run away for 4 byes. Well, I'm not sure that was what the bowler intended. In fact, I'm certain it wasn't, but 10 overs gone then. England are 68 for 2, having lost Danny White-Hodge for 5 and Sophia Dunkley for 22. Drinks are being brought out onto the field here. We're going to have a change in lead commentary here, so Henry will pick up lead comms in a minute. Alex is going to take a breather. I'll stay on with Henry Moran when he settles in. So drinks brought out on a gorgeous sunny evening at Old Trafford. England thrashed in terms of T20 scores in that first game in Nottingham. India winning by 97 runs. Bristol, India winning by 24 runs. And then England managing to get their first game on the board at the Oval, which was just a 5-run win. Exciting match. Still too many dropped catches from England's point of view, Henry, but it has meant that this match has so much importance placed on it.
It does, and yeah, we've seen some very poor fielding at times and some very poor batting, and it has made for some quite compelling viewing, because oftentimes it's the mistakes that make things thrilling in sport, isn't it? And we've seen a bit of that But what we've also seen at times is some really good play. I think this has been a good partnership between these two, and it is offering England a decent amount of hope. I think the worry the other day, and you often see it, don't you? And when you get a massive opening partnership, sometimes things do fall away rather rapidly when it is broken. And England putting on the other night that huge opening stand worth 138 between Dunkley and Wyatt Hodge. Well, both of those two are out relatively early today. Wyatt Hodge for 5 and Dunkley for 22. So it means this partnership between Capsey and Beaumont that has come together is having to play a slightly different role to what we saw the other night.
Yeah, the rest of the order are going to have to step in, aren't they, in a way that they can't afford this kind of collapse that they had at the end of that match. So partnerships are the order of the day, and this one moving from 33 to 68 so far. So 8 wickets in stand for the second half. 8 wickets in hand for the second half of the innings, and Amy Jones due in next, and then Paige Schofield, then Eccleston for a 100th T20 international. Izzy Wong, Charlie Dean, Lauren Filer and Lauren Bell make up this England 11.
Lauren Filer, can she break 80 miles an hour?
I'd love to see it, Henry.
I would too, because Catherine Fitzpatrick is the name that is always mentioned in dispatches in terms of somebody that probably did but not officially.
Yeah.
In an international match. It's only ever been passed once in women's professional cricket officially, and that was Shabnim Ismail in the WPL. Capsey rocks back as Radha Yadav bowls from the far end of the ground, looks for the run into the offside with a field up inside the circle, can't find it.
The other one was Sharon Tredrea from Australia, also was a really fast bowler, but I mean when speed guns weren't clocking the women's game.
Forward comes Beaumont, hitting the ball down the ground towards long on, where the catch is taken. That's a good catch as well. It was up there for a while. It was one of those that came out of the sunlight into the shadows. But Arundhati Reddy, for the second time in the innings, showed good hands. And the England skipper, Tammy Beaumont, goes. England 68 for 3.
Well, we're just talking about the partnerships and the value of these two staying together. And if you're going to hit downtown, you need to make sure you've got enough on it to clear the rope, because straight in the direction of the fielder, managed to get herself into a position where she could take that catch. So 2 catches for Reddy, in fact 3 catches for Reddy now. She's taken all of them. Danny Wyatt as well. But the end of Beaumont for 20. England then 68 for 3 in this 11th over. The partnership wasn't able to extend, but can it be rejuvenated again with Amy Jones?
A very experienced player. 124 T20 internationals now for Amy Jones, and somebody that's had a really stellar time of it in this summer of cricket for England's women. At the top of the order for the ODI side, 200s. Work down the ground immediately from the tall right-hander, and she'll get a single towards Reddy, all along the ground up towards long on. And England 69 for 3. But again, it's another rebuilding job, Ali.
Yeah, they will have to have good judgment from here. There's a delay with the bowler and the non-strikers in there. A bit of grit in a contact lens, maybe?
Yeah, it looks
No.
possibly that, or
Oh, they're calling for...
to do with the ear.
Are you holding her right temple or the right ear, is it?
Yeah, it's a funny
Players are
one,
coming
this.
together. Physio is now coming on.
It's an unusual one. Radha Yadav has got her head held in the crook of her elbow, and now having a look in her ear, her teammate. I wonder if it's maybe cheekbone, possibly, actually.
She didn't take a blow with the ball, did she? What happened there? Oh, collided with Capsey at the non-striker's end.
Well, there you go.
Or maybe the head caught the bat handle or something to have really made a knock. Difficult to see from that replay, but she cut across her in the course of trying to field the ball, and they did collide, so it's caused sufficient pain for her to not want to continue her over. How many deliveries have we had? Three deliveries in the over.
It's a funny one, that. And she's doing that thing that one often does when you get hit sort of on the jaw, which is a lot of sort of stretching and as if you're sort of the
doing
dentist.
your A-E-I-O-U's.
Yeah. Say England, by the way, if they were to go at their current rate, would only reach 131. You'd expect them to pick up a little bit. And I did mention this is quite a slow scoring ground in the women's game over the last few years. Since the start of 2022, the average first inning score in women's T20s is just 121. So it's not the sort of venue like Trent Bridge or indeed Bristol or the Oval where you think, okay, well, we're going to see big old scores. I gave you a stat off air earlier, which is a cracker.
Go on.
I'll repeat
I'll let you.
It is a good
give it
one.
on air.
It is a good one. Here comes Radayadav, happily okay. Capsey bunts the ball into the offside. There'll be no run there. Goes towards Sneh Rana at cover point. Between 2004 and 2025, in 95 matches in T20 internationals. Here comes Radayadav. Capsey gets in a tangle, plays back towards the bowler. In those 95 games, in that period of time, they conceded England 180 just twice. But they managed to do so in the first 2 games of this series.
It is a good stat.
Here comes Radayadav bowling to Capsey, who will this time get a run. Yadav none the worse for her little collision as she dives to her right and kicks up a puff of dust on a used wicket end at Old Trafford. And with that, the over comes to an end. 70 for 3 after 11. Jones on 1, Capsey on 18, and Charlotte Edwards in the sunshine, deep in conversation with various members of the England coaching staff, somewhere on a balcony below us, Annie.
Is she in her portrait pose? Have you seen the portrait of her that hangs in the Lord's Pavilion?
Yeah, it's wonderful.
It really does capture her intense gaze out to the middle. She posed on the balcony outside the home dressing room at Lord's, and she's captured perfectly, just staring forwards, eyes focused on the middle. And she's in her World Cup winning shirt as well. She put it on especially for the portrait. It's brilliantly captured.
Yeah, it's a really lovely painting. Some of the portraits in the pavilion at Lord's are absolutely sensational. Shrey Chirani bowls, big appeal for LBW is given. Capsey with the reverse sweep. It looked straight. It didn't look particularly good from the batter's point of view, and she's going to come and have a conversation with Amy Jones, who might say, well, have a look at it, we've got reviews to use, but to our view, it looked a pretty good shout. She is going to have a look upstairs with Jackie Williams, but it felt a somewhat injudicious shot from Alice Capsey, I have to say.
Did she need to reverse sweep in that moment? The run rate is 6.27 and over, but it could be 4 down here, rather.
We'll wait for the first replay. That will give us a good guide.
On the knee roll, it's pretty straight, Henry. And the left arm spinner, it's pitched in front.
Well, India fielders look so confident they've all gone back to their fielding positions, which is
And
never...
Capsey is walking off, which tells you a lot. I mean, she must therefore know there was no glove, under edge, or bat involved, which is what they'll check now.
Well, she's missed it by some distance, I think. Yeah. Hits the knee roll of that front leg, which is braced for that sort of impact. And we'll check ball tracking, which will be the determining piece of evidence. But I don't think it's going to save Capsey, who is trudging off below us, looking rather disconsolate, it has to be said.
Chirani's only 20 years old, took 4 wickets in the first game and 2 each at Bristol in the Oval. So 8 wickets so far in the series, and this will be then her 10th, having also dismissed Danny Wyatt-Hodge. Part of the Delhi Capitals setup. It's had a lot of help from Lisa Kitely, the coach there at Delhi Capitals, and Meg Lanning, the captain, as well. I think Capsey's paused by the boundary rope, waiting for confirmation. She believes she's on her way. But yeah, hearing really good things. There's a lovely article on Crick Info about Shrey Chirani and her just wanting to bowl one more ball in the nets always. Practice makes perfect.
Well, yeah, and it's a brilliant attitude to have.
And she actually started her career bowling left arm pace before she then took to left arm spin, because she grew up playing gully cricket, and you need to be able to really propel that tennis ball, through the air at pace. But has become a very effective left arm spinner. still we wait for this confirmation from the third umpire and the verdict.
Here we go.
Now here's the ball tracking. Pitching in line, impact in line, hitting the wickets, hitting in front of middle, hitting middle. Perhaps he was right to be walking off.
Indeed, and Paige Schofield will come to the middle. She's been waiting by the boundary edge, the Surrey batter, and now she does replace her domestic and international teammate Alice Capsey, playing her second, if you like, senior T20 appearance. Paige Schofield played in the last match, was part of those wickets that fell so quickly, making 4 from 6 at the Oval. She comes to the middle with a ball shy of 9 overs to try and get England up to a decent total, so there's time here for her to get herself in and then show that power that has got her into this side. She is a big and powerful ball striker.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing how she deals with this particular situation, because she only faced 6 balls at the Oval. Of course, it didn't feature in the first couple of games. Nat Sciver-Brunt was still playing, but she's out injured with that groin, and so big opportunity here for Schofield in a situation where England need to keep their heads together, need to also keep wickets in hand and build a really good total.
Charlie bowls to the right-hander Schofield, who's going to work the ball into the onside. 1 run will possibly become 2. In the end, I think it's a good call, perhaps, not to go for that second run. Schofield up and running immediately. England 71 for 4.
It's a confident start, good clear running and intent for the single. Soon that shadow is going to actually start stretching across the pitch, which could be a little bit awkward at the James Anderson end of the ground. Alex's floodlight, very sensibly is off the pitch with the angle of the sun.
She insisted. Here is Shreya Irani, 40 on her back. Bowls to Jones, who's working the ball into the leg side, hoping to find a gap for 2. She won't do so because it goes to the hands of the fielder Radha Yadav, who's lightning quick in the field, still just occasionally feeling that right cheekbone as she runs backwards towards a well-populated stand over to our right. Schofield this time will come forward off the front foot to get that single into the same part of the ground. England at the moment really dealing in 1s and attempted 2s, but nothing more than that. It hasn't been the flurry of boundaries that we saw in previous matches. We didn't necessarily think it would be, but England just a little bit of a rebuilding job. Jones works the ball to the right this time of Jemima Rodrigues, and again there won't be a single as it goes down towards, won't be more than the single as it goes down towards long on. And 1 ball left to the 12th with the score 74 for 4.
That's just the effect of taking regular wickets, isn't it? That you always feel like you're in that rebuilding phase. That's the problem England have at the moment.
Walloped across the line by Schofield. She's going to get 1 out towards Yadav at deep mid-wicket. It's not just a good wicket-taking spell from Shirani from her 3 overs so far, 2 for 26, but also bowling to her field. There's 3 on the boundary on the leg side, pretty much exclusively called into action as England pick up the singles, but nothing more. Alice Capsey, by the way, 18 off 21, so she'll be a little frustrated not to have managed to go at a strike rate north of 100. Didn't in the last game either, making 2 from 3. Or indeed the previous one, 5 from 8. So she struggled just a little bit, and actually from the first one, 5 from 6, she's not gone on a strike rate over 100 across the entire series.
Been very impressed by Shreya Irani though. Really have, like, her control. International debut against Sri Lanka in April of this year.
Yadav from the far end. This has been hit with a modicum of control, though aerial, down the ground from Schofield. The sort of one where she wound up. She realised there could be trouble with the fielder Arundhati Reddy waiting at long on, already having thrice shown good hands. She resists the temptation to go too hard at it. Jones waits, field up inside the circle on the offside, and it's played down the ground towards long off for a single for Amy Jones. She moves to forward a run a ball, and England 77 for 4. Reminder tomorrow morning, 10:25 from Lords, England against India's men. 3rd test match of a thrilling series. Jofra Archer back. Schofield looking to thread through the offside. That's a good stop. Dipti Sharma diving to her right at backward point.
Yeah, parried it one-handed. goalkeeper style. Nobody protecting that boundary, so the security of that ring of steel absolutely needs to be strong.
Just 8 boundaries in the innings so far. Here comes Rada Yadav again. Round the wicket with the left arm spin. Jones deep in the crease, rather cramped for room, but does manage to muscle the ball down towards long on off the back foot to pick up another run. England 79 for 4, but struggling to find the boundaries.
Yeah, and you do worry about the firepower and the form that India's top order have shown so far.
Next delivery goes out towards deep backward square leg, where Jemima Rodrigues will field in the sunshine. England 80 for 4.
So Henry, I was surprised to see when I looked that India have only ever played one international match, India's women, on this ground in history.
99.
Yeah, and do you know who played in that match, who is here today?
Amy Jones clips down the ground and will get a single to keep the strike. England move forward at no great pace. 13 overs gone, 81 for 4 is the score. I mean, the obvious answer would be Charlotte Edwards, but I feel if I was on QI, the buzzers would be going.
Other than Charlotte Edwards, because as soon as I said that, I was like, oh, Charlotte Edwards played in that match and she's here. I don't think Claire Connor is here today because she played in that match for England. No, on the Indian side.
Okay.
On the Indian side, featuring in that match was left-arm spinner Neetu David, who is here today, and she is now India's chair of selectors. But I last saw her, and you might have done as well, Henry, at the T20 World Cup in Dubai last year, because she was inducted into the ICC Hall of
was.
Fame. A lovely interview on stage, and it just felt like she felt so humbled and honoured to be recognised in that way.
Arundhati Reddy, right arm seam, is bowling a ball that Amy Jones will pick up one from. Turns for a second, and in the end won't get it because Rodrigues is too quick in from long on. Well, there we go.
Mitali Raj played in that match as well. Anjum Chopra, who we work with on the airwaves at times. But yeah, only that one game at ODI 1999. It was a 1-wicket win for India. So can they keep up their 100% record at Old Trafford?
Reddy bowling a full toss that is walloped into the leg side. Oh, brilliant stop out there in the deep. Goodness me. Diving to her left on the bounce, and Rada Yadav rightly gets the high five, the pat on the on the back from Jemima Rodrigues, because that is a brilliant stop. Diving to her left and somehow parrying the ball into the turf. Goalkeeper style. It's sensational fielding, it really is.
And crucially, parried it into the direction of her oncoming teammate as well. Jemima Rodrigues was there to scoop up and send the ball back into the middle. Good bit of teamwork on the boundary. I wondered for a minute if Rada Yadav was in the game for a catch, actually.
England 84 for 4. Schofield moves to 8 from 7. Waits now, having got 2 there. We'll get another run, possibly a second as well. Deepti Sharma will pick up moving round from long off. Good throw, but England get that second run. The crowd applaud the efforts of both the fielding side and England's batting pair. It's a good test of fitness out there. I mean, we've said it during the series. There is such a difference in this India side's intensity in the field compared to previous tours. For me, that's the real sign of difference. Arundhati Reddy bowls a ball that goes down the leg side. Anna Harris signals wide.
That 2 run a moment ago was Amy Jones's impetus. She had run and was turned at the point Schofield was just turning at the far end. She called for the 2 and pushed it, made it happen. I think they need to try and put the fielders under a little bit more pressure by running those 2s.
Big gaps on the leg side. The fielders are on the boundary. A huge wind up and swing from Schofield, who manages to play the ball into her pads, and there's no run. 87 for 4. Chirani, by the way, has got 10 T20 international wickets, as you mentioned. Only 4 spinners have got more this year, but she's got a little bit of way to go behind Thailand's Dipacha Puttawong, who's got 24 wickets. With Hurst, though, left arm orthodox. Worked into the leg side, out towards the deep it goes, and 1 run will be taken. England 88 for 4. Ball left of the 14th over. It's one of those, isn't it, where Thailand, one of the great stories of that T20 World Cup in 2020.
And then what's happened to them?
Well, I know. It is one of my real bugbears. I'm going to talk more in just a moment. Arundhati ready. Bowls to Amy Jones, who's going to get a single down the ground. And fielded by Rodrigues. That's a good piece of fielding down there, limiting it to 1. Jones moves to 8 at a runner ball. And the score 89 for 4 after 14 overs. Earlier on this year, and I know it's something you've been well across as well, Ali, chatted to a couple of members of the Scotland side. And by the way, one of Lancashire's players, Elsa Lister, has just been named as the PCA's MVP for the last month. And so, you know, there's some real talent in that Scotland side. They've not got a single fixture scheduled.
Don't have the finances to host teams, do they?
Pakistan wanted to come and play. I spoke to Steve Snell, their director of cricket. He's a well-known name across the English game, now works at the Scotland women's side.
And I tell you what, Scotland's men and Netherlands men are in hot contention to try and qualify for the T20 World Cup with Italy.
Yeah.
Currently leading the way. I think Netherlands have got a game in hand there, but I mean, imagine if Scotland's men don't qualify. Like, that puts the men and the women without that vital ICC funding they're so reliant on, and this is where it comes back to, like, surely associate nations do need some more money from somewhere, whether it is from broadcast revenue or World Cup shares.
Amanjot Kaur runs into Amy Jones. Down the ground it goes. Hit off the back foot for another single. 9 from 9 for Jones. It's 90 for 4. And this is the issue, isn't it? I mean, cricket is not a game that is lacking in cash from certain elements. And the sort of sums of money that we've heard about going into the 100 and
some of these countries will hope that cricket being in the Olympics will unlock some funding from within their countries for them, but that is not the case for every country.
And Scotland.
By any stretch. Scotland will not receive
no
any specific Olympic funding.
Amanjot Kaur with the right arm seam. Schofield times that nicely. It goes into space out towards the deep. Could bring 4, no, because another good piece of fielding, this time from Reddy. We'll see the ball pushed and parried towards a teammate, and it's just 2 runs, 92 for 4. Because Scotland are under the auspices of Team GB, they don't get the funding that every other European country will get if they take part.
Well, we say that, but it depends country to country what their Olympic committee decides. So
Indeed.
On the Stump podcast, we've already spoken to 2 or 3 nations who have categorically said, no, we won't have funding.
Schofield smashes the ball back towards the bowler, who does well to stop it with her right ankle, then runs in the 2 or 3 seconds before the pain comes and manages to pick up the ball. It was hit very cleanly by the right-hander, and it was very well stopped. But it's a real concern, isn't it, when you think about...
Well, the qualification process is yet to be actually fully confirmed by the ICC, has it? So if they suddenly announce that there will be a qualification pathway specifically for Olympics, that might unlock some more funding from countries that currently their Olympic committee are looking at it and will just say, well, there's only 6 countries participating, including the host, and so, therefore you're not likely to either be preparing to play or playing in it, and therefore you don't qualify for funding. Could be another bowling injury here. This is the hand then that's saved a run, but Kaur is in some difficulty down there. She got to the end of her mark, Henry, as if she was ready to run in, and then she's down on her knees and looks in real pain with that hand. And so now the physio's on again.
Busy night for the physio. England 92 for 4 midway through the 15th over. It's a good stop. But yeah, Scotland's women, just to finish that, named 2024 Scottish Sporting Team of the Year at their National Sports Awards. We saw them at the Women's T20 World Cup. It's a brilliant story because they were not only a hugely passionate side, but a side that competed well. And as we've seen from other sides that get opportunities, when you get the opportunities, it's amazing how you can then find that those opportunities can lead to investment, can lead to growth. But what you don't want to see is these talented players' careers stalling because their boards literally can't afford to have fixtures.
Yeah, it is a really sad situation. And you don't actually know when or how it will get resolved or improved.
Yeah.
And Scottish cricket will very much be hanging their hat on their men making the T20 World Cup. Now she's moved a few paces away here with the physio and with Captain Harmanpreet. Risha Ghosh, the wicketkeeper, is in a cluster there as well. They seem to be studying the hand. Everyone's on their feet now, at least, including the bowler, which is a good sign. The umpires are now starting to walk towards this huddle as well. Try and find out exactly what's happened. How many deliveries into the oval was she?
Midway through the 15th.
Yeah,
and she's still, in theory, got another over to bowl, Amanjot. He played a valuable role with the bat as well earlier in the series, so I can see one of those ice packs that looks a little bit like a hairnet or a shower cap filled with ice that is being put on that hand, but it was hit really hard and it was sort of deflected off the fingers onto the leg.
Well, at what point do the umpires say, continue your treatment off the field? If she's not able to carry on bowling, I mean, players is being held up here, but they don't want to lose a bowler and they don't want to lose her out of the game. But can she continue?
Well, that's the question. I mean, how long do you give it? England 92 for 4. It's been an innings that has been rather thin on the ground in terms of boundaries.
Yeah, and that is a bit of a worry, I think. We've talked about it being a big ground, but consider the form that Smriti Mandana has been in. The big 100 at Trent Bridge and then the half-century at the Oval. Shafali Verma got runs at the Oval. Jemima Rodrigues, after a duck in the first match, 63 off 41 in the second game. And then Amanjot Kaur, exactly as you said, Henry, 40 ball for 63 not out. Right, the huddle is breaking up, and the Amanjot is going to the end of her mark, which is a good sign.
News. And a reminder while we've got this little break in play. Tomorrow morning, 10:25, Test Match Special will be live from Lords on the outfield with Aggers and the team. Bring you coverage of the men's Test match. And there'll be coverage as well from Today at the Test. Highlights every single day from 7 p.m. on BBC 4 tomorrow. And on the Red Button and iPlayer. Highlights of this match, by the way, 11 p.m. this evening on the iPlayer and Red Button. Right, here we go. Schofield's on 13. Mistimes a hack into the leg side for a single. Jones wants a second. It isn't there. And England move creeping forward to 93 for 4.
Are they going to get up to the average score? Some boundaries would be welcome because they need to challenge India in the chase and ask them to be hitting over the top, trying to pierce the field when they bat.
It's been 5 overs since we've seen one. It's 4 byes. Here comes the next delivery. Jones is bowled. Stumps light up, and as Amy Jones did try and access the offside, she missed, and as the ball went through, it went clattering onto the stumps. England 93 for 5, still with 5.1 overs left of this innings, and in more than a spot of bother here. She's been asked to wait just a second, is Jones. Keeper was up to the stumps, and as the ball beat the bat, it smashed into the top of middle and leg.
Oh, England in some trouble here and under pressure, but they do have, is it Charlie Dean walking out now? I was about to say Sophie Eccleston can hit a ball a long way in her 100th T20 international. She on my scorecard at least, and the team sheet, was due in next, but Charlie Dean is a very handy batter also. So can she come out now in partnership with Paige Schofield and just try and get some acceleration going and maybe stay together for these whole remaining last 5 overs? That you'd think would give England a bit of momentum.
Well, the check, by the way, why Jones was asked to temporarily hang around was just to make sure that Richa Ghosh, who is keeping, wasn't responsible for the bails being dislodged. So they've checked that, and instead it was the ball just clipping the top of middle and leg. Charlie Dean comes to the middle then. Final ball of the 15th over. England 93 for 5. Dean, the right-hander, waits. And we'll get a single into the onside. I don't think there'll be a second. They'll think about 2. A second run is not possible. And the over comes to an end. 93 for 5. We'll move to 94 for 5. Schofield's on 14. Dean is on 1. Jock Kaur's bowled very nicely here. 3 overs, 1 for 15. And to see us through to a conclusion to the innings. I can't remember the last time I did 5 overs of a T20 without a boundary. Ali?
Yeah.
It's a rare thing, but Alex Hartley's going to come and join you in just a moment.
Well, depending on what happens for these next 5 overs, it means that England are going to have to really bowl and field tightly to contain India, who will, once you've got a target, it's a very different thing, isn't it? Pacing your innings, knowing what is required. England 94 for 5 then at the end of 15. And the highest partnership so far has been that for the third wicket between Beaumont and Capsey that was worth 35 off 30. But these wickets have just come too regularly for a big impactful partnership to happen. Deepti Sharma in, pulled across the line along the ground out to deep square leg for a single. And the sun is bothering most players on the field at the moment, including us in the commentary box. Al, you've got your sunglasses on and shielding your eyes as well.
I know, I've put my sunnies on, but then once they're on, you can't really see the telly, so it's that...
Oh, you need to drop them on the end of your
I do,
nose. A bit school mistresses. School mistressy? Headmistress. Headmistress Al, give you that one. Sharma in here too. Schofield chips it back up the pitch, and Sharma's diving in front of the non-striker to save a single. Some applause here from the crowd. Lots and lots of India fans and colour. We are on Sports Extra 2 at the moment on BBC Sounds, but shortly we will be on Sports Extra itself, the main channel. Sweep across the line. Bit of bottom edge into the ground and out to deep mid-wicket. Will there be two? No, there won't be. It's only the one. Algon, what's your take on the feel of this innings and the way it's progressed with the bat for England, or rather stuttered?
Yeah, and we've seen that happen quite a lot recently, is once England have lost a couple of wickets with no Nat Sivabrant as well, there's a big hole in the team, obviously.
Sharma into Dean, chips it along the ground, out to deep mid-wicket. Fielder moves in off the boundary, another one added.
However, England are on to get the par score here. So, you know, if they can somehow get 10 and over for the last 4, then they'll be above average.
Sharma moves in here. Schofield awaits with the keeper up, misses into the gloves of the keeper. Deepti Sharma has hands on her head as if to say, was there a feather? Could there have been a feather? But there wasn't. Attempting to play across the line. Schofield. Fielders are all back on the leg side, barring short fine leg, who's up inside the circle. A Ringfield on the offside here. Schofield heaves it out towards deep mid-wicket. Can't find the gap though. India restrict England to a single once again. Throw comes back and on the bounce to Sharma to end that over. She gets through them rapidly, doesn't she? 98 for 5 then, after over number 16. Just the 4 runs coming from that over. Dean on 3, Schofield on 16.
She's bowled well deep to Sharma, hasn't she? 1 for 13 from her 3. Has really stalled England being able to pick up 2s. They've not been able to get the ball into the deep. I actually think here at Old Trafford, if you can get the ball into the deep, into the outfield, 2s are really simple to come by. However, it's getting that ball into the deep.
So 98 for 5, 16 overs gone. We're about to be joined by Sports Extra. Well, England are 98 for 5, entering the 17th over of their chase. Top score so far, 22 from Sophia Dunkley. And here is Paige Schofield. She goes high. Could be another chance for a catch, though, out in the deep, at long on. It's another one gone. Schofield out for 16. And what India have been solid with their catching tonight. England are now 6 down, though, stuttering in these last stages as well. 98 for 6.
Yeah, I'm not really sure there's much need for Paige Schofield to be playing that shot, to be completely honest. It's come out of frustration. It's come out of not being able to go at a runner ball, not being able to find the boundaries, the big old slog sweep down the ground. But actually here at Emirates Old Trafford, just get the ball into the deep, run those 2s as we were just talking about, and try and accumulate that way, because it's not an easy ground to score boundaries on. And again, England find themselves in a lot of trouble.
16 off 18 balls for Schofield. And again, coming out of the shadows, it's Arundhati Reddy, who has taken all 4 catches in this innings.
I bet that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, that's one for hype, of course. You can have a look. Here is Sophie Eccleston on her home ground, playing in her 100th T20 international, getting a big warm round of applause here. And what approach will she take? Because we do know that she can hit big. Long off and long on are both back. 98 for 6. With the sun in the eyes of all the fielders on that offside. Left arm spin, and Eccleston chips it away through the vacant mid-on region and jogs a single to get her off the mark.
What reception that was.
Brilliant
Brilliant reception.
Well, there's a good crowd here enjoying the evening sunshine. and the local favourite. So settling again over the bat. Bird flutters above the pavilion. Left arm spin around the wicket, a little dance down the pitch from Charlie Dean, then checks the shot to work. A single down through, wide mid-wicket. Just the one though. Again, it's how can you time these shots to actually really push for a 2, because singles aren't going to really cut it.
No, I need 2s at this stage, England.
Yadav moves in again. Eccleston up through mid-wicket. This brings Reddy in from the deep. And there'd been a 2 there. There's a little fumble as well from Reddy, which had to run a long way in from the boundary. That is the spot where if you really set off hard, surely you want to be coming back for 2.
Yeah, when you just get it outside the ring with the fielders on the deep, they're actually on the rope as well. It probably could be 5 yards off, to be honest, especially to Charlie Dean.
Yadav around the wicket and reverse, he misses it, struck on the pad, and the peel from Yadav, who's immediately saying, come on captain, review. Nothing from the umpire. India coming together, Harmanpreet Kaur moves forward. Chat with Risha Ghosh, and she has asked for the review. So this is Charlie Dean, struck rather messily on the back leg as she went for the reverse sweep.
But only thing there is, has it hit her outside the line? I'm not sure.
All eyes on the big screen to get another look at this then. The bowler bowling out of the shadows into the bright evening sunshine. Dean shapes up the reverse.
Not out.
Outside the line, yeah, it seems to struck her very much on the outer side of the knee, isn't it? She's got that leg flexed, knee on the ground. We'll probably need ball tracking to be sure of that. Dean is standing nonchalantly mid-pitch alongside Sophie Eccleston. I might also bring in just check there's no under edge on the bat either. Did the ball bounce under the bat? Yeah, it has bounced under the bat. So
Bit of glove. Oh no.
Was there glove as well? No.
No.
Nothing on the ultra edge. The technology. Or is there?
Well,
No, they're
I think they might. I can't tell.
Well, they're tracking it back. That might be glove on the way through. There's a mark on ultra edge.
Does that help?
Thank you, Al. You're casting a nice shadow on the TV. I can see the monitor a little bit better now. Yeah. So there was a bit of glove. The ball went under the bat, brushed the glove. So Dean survives, and England 101 for 6.
Yeah, it just looked like, I wasn't sure actually on the replay because of the sun on our TV. We couldn't quite see whether it was the bat on the floor, where people have been smudging it. Whether it was the bat on the floor or an under edge, or the glove, sorry, and it was the glove in the end.
So Dean survives. Just to let you know, at the interval, we'll be hearing from England Test captain Ben Stokes ahead of the Lord's Test match. Yadav around the wicket here. Dean goes again, makes contact this time, but only as far as short. Third, she's set off for a single. No response from Eccleston. Oh, run out! Oh, the finger's gone out now. That is poor. No response from Sophie Eccleston. And Charlie Dean is looking back at the pitch to her partner who leans on her bat, and Dean scrambled fruitlessly back and is having to walk off.
She's gone on the shot there, hasn't she, Charlie Dean? She's hit it cleanly, and she's gone straight off the shot. Sophie Eccleston does the right thing at the non-striker's end and sends Charlie Dean back. There was never a single there. It's gone straight to the fielder. I'll tell you what, a good bit of keeping from the wicket-keeper, because it wasn't a great throw. And she picks the ball up, takes the bails off, and Charlie Dean's run herself out there.
Well, she's gone for 4. England are in danger of falling away here. A run out at the end of the 17th over. That helps India out, as England are now 101 for 7. So losing 2 wickets in that Yadav over. And so top score remains 22 from Sophia Dunkley, and the best partnership, the 35, between Beaumont and Capsey. Who have we got in the middle now?
Izzy Wong.
Izzy Wong has strode out.
Can hit a long ball, and they're going to need her to, really, aren't they?
We've got 2 batters out there who can. But will they get the opportunity? And can they do it safely? What's the point? Izzy Wong got a first baller at the Oval. First ball duck. But she's got an opportunity here to have a bit of a flurry. Get some back-end runs for England. Desperately needed. Chirani is on to bowl this 18th over. Sri Chirani is in. Flicked out towards the offside, or squeeze it through the infield. If that could have been stopped. They're 3 for 1. So this will bring Wong on strike for the first time. Batting in full shade now, but the bowler's coming out of bright sunshine. I don't know what's worse, Ali, if you're in the shade facing a bowler coming out of bright light, or for you to be in bright sunlight with a bowler coming out of shade. That's probably harder, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the ball going from dark to bright would be harder, I think. I didn't bat, so.
No, you're bowling though. Around the wicket here, the left arm spin going back through the legs of Eccleston. Just opened the gate and allowed the ball to run through to the deep, and they're able to take 1. So the scoreboard is ticking over, but it's never galloped.
Well, I'd struggle bowling from this end at this time of night because I used to look up when I bowled and I'd look straight into the sun and I wouldn't be able to see a thing.
Oh, that's not sensible.
No.
Chirani around the wicket, outside the off stump. Fielded on the edge of the circle. Saves a single. Eccleston looking a little frustrated there. Swish of the bat. Flags fluttering, the England flag, the India flag on top of the pavilion. A couple of flags strung over the balconies of the hotel as well. A couple of England flags and a Lancashire red rose as well, I can see. Chirani around the wicket. Eccleston lofts this behind square, drops into the turf though. It'll only be 1. There's a fielder at deep backwards square who moves in from the boundary to field. The signs of Eccleston looking to go up and over the top. 104 for 7. 18th over. A match England need to win if they're to keep the series alive. Chirani a little bit quicker that time with the back foot, only as far as cover, and can't pierce that infield. 4 fielders on the ring on that offside. And Chirani is doing a good job at bowling to that field.
Yeah, I don't think England have got enough here. There's been 48 balls since the last boundary for England.
Yeah, that's not good enough. Chirani moves in, clipped along the ground, out to deep mid-wicket. They make the single, it's picked up cleanly in the deep. Throw comes into the bowler's end. Of course, you never know just how well England might come out with the ball. They'd have to hold all their catches.
Yeah.
Still 2 overs to go, but England are only 105 for 7.
I'd love to know when the last 2 was as well, because we've been speaking about how boundaries are so hard to come by, but 2s, they've got to be important on this ground.
There's a skill, isn't there, to timing a 2.
No, I don't know if I'm reading this wrong.
Singles, singles, singles. I'm backtracking as well.
I've got all the way to the 4th ball of the game for a 2.
Well, I'm not going to dispute that.
I'll have a quick scroll as the bowler comes in, but I think, oh here, 13.2 overs. 13.3 overs, there we go, that was the last 2.
The last 2 that was run. Amanjot Kaur is back in. Now it's come off the pad and the keeper got very excited for a moment, but then ran across to a left-hand side to pick up. And Izzy Wong was not able to get that one away. Looked like she was trying to whip it away through the leg side. 105 for 7. So valuable dot ball for India, keeping England pegged back and taking wickets at regular intervals. England never able to really get momentum with a big score or a big partnership. Squirting out towards extra cover, it's another dot ball. India keeping things tight.
Well, India are in total control at the minute. And if they come out and get off to a decent start, this could be won in the power play for India.
And remember, they've never won a T20 international series on English soil. This would be a first for them. Secure the series with 1 to play. Amanjot moves in here. Wong tries to drive.
Oh no!
Bit of a parry
no.
at cover. Could be another run-out chance, but it's not. She's able to get back because the ball wasn't retrieved quickly enough. But again, another single taken where the ball's gone directly to the fielder. There was a parry, but not really enough of a misfield to say a single, particularly not when Eccleston hadn't responded. Wong settles over her bat again. Those fielders on the offside in that inner ring are holding up their hand to shield their eyes from the sun. Amanjot moves in, slightly leg side, enough to be whipped away along the ground. Fine leg is there. It's only a single. Wong really wanted to come back for 2. Eccleston holds her glove up and says no, and probably rightly so as the ball comes in from the deep. And these 2 will now meet mid-pitch to have a bit of a chat. punch of gloves.
And they've just got to get the ball into the deep and run as hard as possible here. Eccleston, she can clear that front leg and carve the ball through the covers. I mean, she's such a good batter, but her strength is the leg side.
Yeah, India know that, so they've got the boundary protection. Amanjot, Ponytail swishing moves in. She tried to heave it over the leg side, but struck on the body. Has won a bit of a blow. The ball drops into the turf right in front of her. Now, has that gone into the ribs? She was batting with her back to us, so it looked painful. She looked to heave it across, right in the midriff sort of stomach area.
It hurts, that one as well. It does hurt.
Oof.
Wind
you a bit as well.
Oh, yeah, just taking the wind out of me a little bit.
Just taking her time here is Eccleston. Walks in a few circles. We'll wait to settle over about. The umpire came in from square leg to check she was all right.
She's laughing. She's all right.
Eccleston taps her bat against the ground, a dark shadow, only about a metre in front of her now. Out of the shadows comes the bowler, clipped in the air, aerially, then bounces in front of the fielder in the deep, who can't quite get there. There is a boundary. Wave the flags. It's been a rarity. It's come at the very end of the 19th over.
Yeah,
they desperately needed it.
They did, and it's brilliant timing from Eccleston, who ends up just shoveling the ball, creating the pace herself, which is what she can do. She's a good timer of the ball. She's got long levers and just whips it into the mid-wicket region for four, splits those two fielders perfectly, who we can barely see because the sun... You know what? We're just not used to blue skies and bright sunshine here in Manchester, so it's causing us all a few problems. Normally we get a bit of drizzle. We get a lot of cricket rained out, especially internationals.
Just get some blinds installed.
Yeah.
That would help a little bit. But no, let's not complain about the sunshine.
No, please don't. Please don't.
England have only got 6 deliveries here, Eccleston and Wong, to try and find the boundary a few more times. 110 for 7, that average score 121. Can they make it a big over? It'd be very much against the run of play if they do. So Wong 3, Eccleston 8, England 110 for 7. Deepti Sharma drops one on the length, and it's fielded at cover off the back foot. A single taken though, Wong stroking it away, getting through for 1.
Well, I like this. I like the fact that India are closing out the innings with a spinner, because we've seen how well she's bowled Deepti Sharma this innings so far, but also speaking about these boundaries and how hard they are to come by.
Yeah, Radha Yadav is the only bowler that's been more economical than Deepti, on a 4.42 so far. This one is chipped in the air down towards deep square leg, drops in front of the fielder, who's half in sun, half in shade. Again, only a single. Throw comes back into Risha Ghosh with the gloves on. Tosses it back to Deepti Sharma. So 1 wicket for Deepti, 1 for Amanjot Kaur, 2 for Shrey Charani. He's now taken 10 in this series. 2 for Radha Yadav even. Pulled across the line. Another one for England's tally. 113 for 7. It's not as yet the big over that England wanted, and it never really felt like it was going to be.
No, England could do with Eccleston carving one through covers here.
Yeah, the fielder's up on that side of the ground. Here is Deepti. She tried to make some room. She's gone high over the leg side. Actually enough to clear the rope. Drops, yes, over the rope. Well, 6 from Eccleston. That is what England needed. A late little burst. 2 fielders on that leg side boundary, and she managed to clear them.
That's her strength, isn't it? Into the leg side. She can clear any boundary in the world, Eccleston, when she connects. This time, into the leg side, splits square leg and mid-wicket perfectly, and goes all the way for 6. She gave herself room as well. She was looking for that offside. It was well bowled from Deepti Sharma, who follows her. Eccleston was quick onto it.
So 2 balls left in the England innings. Settling over her bat once more is Eccleston. Sharma moves in, she shapes up for the reversal, top edge, drops safe to point. Drops in front of the fielder, they scamper 1. 1 more ball then, Wong on strike. Well, she was trying to get it up and over with the field up on that side.
She hits it so well into the leg side. I'd have loved for her just to go again there.
She's back herself. There's a gaping gap, wasn't there? It was back, deep square as well, behind square. Here's Wong trying to make some room. She goes leg side. That's a better strike, and it's for 6 again. Well, England did manage to make it the biggest over. 2 sixes in that final over. and it has propelled them to above that average score all of a sudden, and they have finished their innings on 126 for 7. That average score 121 since 2022. So a bit of a flurry gives England a little bit of a chance.
Yeah, it gives them more hope, doesn't it? And that last over from Eccleston and Wong, both of them can clear the boundary. Both of them are very capable batters, as they've proven in that last over. I do fear England are shy, though. I hope they've learnt from that innings that India have bowled. Pace off seems to work. If you go too full, you are going to get carted down the ground. You've got to go back of a length, keep the stumps in play. But for me, India have just got the edge there, even though England take a slight bit of momentum into the second innings with that last over.
So 16 runs coming from that final over, propelling England to 126 for 7. I'll take you through the scorecard with Danny Wyatt-Hodge first out to Skyer to mid-on, caught by Arundhati Reddy off Chirani for 5. Sophia Dunkley caught at backward point by Reddy off deep tee for 22. England were 33 for 2 in the 6th over at that point inside the power play. Then Tammy Beaumont was caught by Reddy off Yadav for 20. Alice Capsey was trapped to LBW, giving Chirani her 10th wicket of the series. She made 18. England was 70 for 4 then. Wickets just kept tumbling regularly. No real chance for a partnership to develop. Amy Jones bowled by Amandrop for 9. Paige Schofield caught again by Reddy in the deep, her 4th catch off Yadav for 16. Charlie Dean was ran herself out when she was on 4 from 6 balls. And then that flurry, which did come finally at the end. Sophie Eccleston not out 16 from 10 with a 4 and a 6, and then the 6 from Izzy Wong, leaving her 11 not out. The bowling with Amanjot Kaur 4 overs, no maiden, 1 for 20. Deepti Sharma 4 overs, 1 for 29. She was expensive in the end because of those 2 sixes off her final over, rather spoilt her figures. Shrey Chirani 2 for 30 from her 4. Went for 7.5 and over, but did get those 2 important wickets. Arundhati Reddy, none for 16 from 3 overs. Radha Yadav, 2 for 15, very economical, hard to get away. And Sneh Rana bowled just the 1 over, and that went for 12. So India, if they want to win this series and wrap it up with a game to spare, are going to need 127 from their 20 overs. And England, they've got to defend that if they're going to keep this series alive. A must-win for them. In front of us now, England are out in the field in their red tops and navy trousers, red baseball caps, ready to try and defend their 126 for 7 to keep this series alive. India need 127 for their first series T20 win in England. Now, Hypercourse letting us know that the last time England women posted a lower first innings total in a home T20 international was Sri Lanka in Derby in 2023 when they posted 116. So a bit of a difference in that score, but yeah, although with the par score here, or the average, 121, it felt like there were more runs out there, didn't it?
It did, and it felt like England just needed another partnership. Also, that day was the game at Derby, also sealed England's last series defeat in all formats on home soil.
True, yeah. Well, can they avoid a series defeat today? The sun is now casting a shadow across the entirety of the pitch, so the batters don't have to contend with the bowler running out of shade into brightness. But Smriti Mandana, who's just been in scintillating form so far, big 100 in Nottingham, 56 at the Oval, is going to be facing up to the tall figure of Lauren Bell. At that far end is just tossing herself a catch, with Amy Jones standing well back. And the fielders all up inside the ring, bar deep backward square and a deep point. So Bell to Mandana. Right arm over, Bell bowls, Mandana turns into the leg side, gently, nonchalantly, and the field coming in. And actually all coming in almost in a bit of a swarm then from the offside. They're coming in showing real intent. They know they've got to try and make these batters feel pressurised. Yeah,
absolutely, and also when you're out there it's 11v2, so try and make the batters feel under pressure.
Mandana settles over her bat. It's a light breeze, very pleasant evening for watching cricket. It's 20 degrees. Bell moves into the crease now, full of intent. Little leg side, he swung down towards fine leg for 4. India up and running.
Poor ball from Lauren Bell, unfortunately, down the leg side. And it's a bit of a freebie to get Smriti Mandana up and running, and India ticking along nicely. She plays that shovel really well, but that one was going down the leg side. Probably would have been a wide had she got nothing on it.
Yeah, too comfortable for her just to turn with that ball. So waiting again as Bell moves in with the pavilion behind her. James Anderson end. That's better, and forces Mandela to play straight back up the pitch. It's actually ricocheted off the boot of her batting partner, Shafali Verma, down at the non-striker's end. Ricocheted away to be picked up by an England fielder. That's where you need to do the old, lift your legs, let it go through.
She tried and got in, managed to get in the way, actually, there. It was skills, in a way.
Yeah, you don't often see that from the non-striker. So Shafali Verma is at the non-striker's end, just 21 years old. Still just think she must be older than that now because of the feats that she's achieved in the game. But Bell outside the off stump and carved away behind point by Mandana. There's protection there on that boundary. Danny White-Hodge sets the ball back in, so it's just the single. Again, she likes it there too.
I didn't see her out there, Danny White-Hodge. I thought, that's a great boundary.
Lurking in the shadow.
She is
down there in front of the party stand.
She's hiding down there. She'll be lonely down there. There's no crowd for her.
Yeah, she likes a good bit of interaction, doesn't she?
Now, for me, Shafali Verma has shown weakness in this series, and that's playing the short ball. I'd love Lauren Bell to bounce her here.
Let's see what we get. Verma waits, bat poised. No, it's a length ball, bottom edges it, doesn't get cleanly up to mid-on. It's only one delivery though, dot ball.
Yeah, Lauren Filer's the one to really try and hit Verma right on the badge.
Well, it was Filer bowled a remarkable 3 deliveries. That was a wicket, drop a wicket and then a strike on the head.
Yeah.
A lot going on, but bowling at pace. Intrigued to see how quick she can be this evening. Bell moves in, another length delivery, angled away through the vacant point region. Cover is there, it's Capsey, moves across to a left to field, and a single's taken. Jones gathering the ball on the bounce. So first over completed. Mandana 5, Verma 1, and India to a gentle enough start, but 6 runs on the board in their pursuit of 127. It was exciting seeing just pace in the game, isn't it, with Filer? I mean, Izzy Wong was always the one talking up wanting to bowl 80 miles an hour. And,
she's way off now, though, isn't she?
Yeah, we know she's had her difficulties and gone away, worked hard, trained, but Filer, she talks about just getting into a rhythm, almost when she's not trying really hard. That's when she's actually bowling her quickest.
Yeah, and she bowled, I think it was 3 balls in the previous game at 79 miles per hour. Yeah. So she's so close to that 80. But going back to Izzy Wong, she's bowling about 70, 71, so her pace has really dropped off. But having said that, it's so good to see her back playing consistently and feeling confident with her bowling again. Yeah,
at this level. So here is Filer with a deep backward square in place. Up and over mid-off over the head of Izzy Wong, and that will run for 4. So the first ball from Verma chips it down the ground quite comfortably. 78 miles per hour, the opener from Filer.
I just willing her to please bowl short. She doesn't play the short ball well at all. She's scared of it. She almost ducks into it quite often. She closes her eyes. She plays late. She cramps herself up. So if you can bowl that body line delivery, you're going to get that ticker going.
When will it come? Will it come? Filer moves in, elbows pumping. It's another length ball, but it's cut back. It's gone underneath the bat, past the inside edge. A tumbling take from Jones across to the leg side. And Filer's got her hands on her head. Is that Capsey who's come forward as if to say, well, did that clip anything? Tammy Beaumont is looking questioningly at the bowler. They're all looking at each other.
I don't think that came off anything. It was a great delivery. It's Danny White-Hodge going, okay, I thought that was out, but maybe not.
Filer's walked back to her mark quite contentedly, and we'll bowl the next ball.
Another quick delivery from Filer, though, beats her for pace.
Do you want to be on speed gun watch? I'll keep eyes out on the middle.
Perfect.
You can have a look and see how quick she's bowling. Filer moves in again. That's just slightly back of a length, but it's carved away in front of point. Just squeezes it through the gap between point and cover, away to the point boundary for 4. Despairing dive put in by White-Hodge. And now India with another boundary. And they're coming off the bat of Verma. She's on 9. India 14 for none.
So it was a short ball from Filer, but it's more back of a length. It's not short. Yeah. It's not that bouncer. It's a bit of a nothing delivery. Gets up around chest height. She wants to bang it in a little bit shorter there.
She's got such height, to get that angle and an awkward steepling bounce, coupled with her pace, got the ability to make batters feel very uncomfortable. Beaumont's just had a word with her as she handed the ball back to her. So Filer moves in again. Verma waits. There is the attempted shorter delivery, but it was just a bit too wide outside the off stump. Verma shaped as if she might go after it, and then, well, I thought I'll let that go.
79, she's so close. I'd love for it to be like 79.5, 79.6. She's so close to breaking that 80-mile-per-hour mark.
Well, yeah, twice at 79 in her fourth over, actually, wasn't it, at the Oval? So as if she built up to that, but yeah, she's hitting that mark in her opening over here. Can she beat it? The fastest in international cricket with Shabneen Ismail with 79.54. Filer in again, short once more, battered back down the ground, tennis ball style for 4. Verma says, take a bit of that. Not as quick as her previous deliveries, but Verma just stood up and flat battered it.
Yeah, it's a great shot from Shafali Verma, isn't it? Lauren Filer just trying to bowl as quick as she possibly can. Shafali Verma must have been watching Wimbledon, because that was a backhand back down the ground for 4. It was a brilliant shot. She goes deep in her crease. She's not showing that she's frightened of this pace whatsoever.
Yeah, she eyed up the line, didn't she? Just forehand down it to win. Another little word from Beaumont to her tall, fast bowler. Has been a good over for pace. Short again. Now it's gone high in the air over the infield, over backward point, drops in the turf. Will it dribble to the boundaries? They've saved it. 3 fielders after it have pulled it back in. And Verma is back for the second. But she did try to bang it in short, and well, it flew at the steepling skyer high over backward point.
It's the angle, so that I like the short ball, but it's too far outside the off stump. I think if you're bowling at Shafali Verma, I would love Lauren Filer's margin for error to be down the leg side and her bowler wide down the leg side, rather than that free cut shot and go up and over, especially
with your field up.
Especially with the field up, yeah.
Well, the speeds were good though.
They were very good.
It is about more than just the out and out pace, the direction as well, and the length all comes into it. All right, Charlie Dean, so spin for the first time in this third over. 127 is India's target to win the series with a match to spare. 20 without loss after 2 overs. And Dean has a slip in place here for the off spinner to the left-hander. Stroked away by Mandana up to cover. White Hodge drops to the ground to field, no run.
Well, England know they've got to take wickets to win this game. They've not got enough runs on the board, so they have to be able to take wickets.
It's Capsey who's there at slip. England know they've got to attack. Dean in high, over, wide, mid-on. That is beautifully struck for 4 by Mandana. It does not take her long to get into the groove.
Wow. She's in fine form at the minute, coming off the back of that T20 century in the first game. Charlie Dean into the team, rightly so. I think England missed her in the first 2 games, to be completely honest.
Well, mid-on stays up. We're inside the power play. Only 2 fielders allowed out now. Struck on the pad on the thigh there, dribbles out into the leg side. A half appeal from Dean as Jones moves across to her right-hand side from behind the stumps to pick up. Where's the second fielder who's out? Ah, long off. Again, having to look into the shadows with the sun in your eyes. Dean around the wicket here with her off spin, a little bit quicker that time, and Mandana just to the right of Dean squeezes it past the bowler for a single. Now Verma is really slow here. Jones with taking the bails off at the non-striker's end, and it felt as if Verma had lead shoes on as she was making her way down the pitch, but she got home.
Yeah, we are going to look upstairs, but I am pretty sure she's in there.
Yeah, the reaction of the fielders doesn't suggest that they think it is a run out, but Amy Jones got herself into just the right position, slightly in front of the stump, so she took the ball with the angle of the throw and therefore able to bring that ball back onto the stumps under control, but she's home. Very Sarah Taylor-esque, almost that kind of motion, isn't it?
It was, wasn't it? In front of the stumps.
Yeah. Sarah Taylor's doing brilliant work in men's coaching at the moment, isn't she? Working with the Lions and Andrew Flintoff.
Yeah, ICC Hall of Famer.
She is, yes, recently. And that was a really heartfelt speech. Did you see what Freddie Flintoff said in the huddle?
I did message her saying, mate, congratulations. I'd run through a brick wall if someone said that about me in my career.
Dean a little bit quicker. Verma batters it back down the ground. This will be 4 more down towards the pavilion. India looking aggressive for this opening partnership so far. It's only early days. Already 25 runs on the board, now becomes 29.
We had a quick conversation. She said, well, I couldn't have even said thank you after the back of that speech. It was that good. You know, for her to then be like, oh, thank you, it's an honour. It would have just looked, because his speech was just amazing.
Yeah. You can look it up on, I think it's there on Instagram. You can listen to what he had to say about Sarah Taylor. Verma's on 19 from the wide of the crease, skewed out just over the top of cover. A chase back now to the boundary. It will be picked up. Verma's coming back for the second. Beaumont with the throw back into the middle. The Indian fans already plenty to be getting excited about watching this early batting display. 31 for none after just 3 overs.
Yes, Verma's on fire, isn't she? She's finding the boundary with ease. She's taken the game on, and it's hard to think of an Indian team without Shafali Verma in, but she's not even in the ODI squad.
Yeah, that's right. I was looking at the England squad. They've got, from this T20 squad, we say goodbye to Wyatt Hodge, Paige Schofield and Izzy Wong. Kate Cross comes in, Alice Davidson, Richards and Emma Lamb come in. But yeah, Shafali Verma's back in this squad in the T20s for the first time since the World Cup at the end of last year. So not afraid to leave her out and say go away and score heavily in domestic cricket, which she did, captaining Haryana, the lead scorer in both the domestic one-day cups, to get herself back into the frame for the international team. And that's really all you can do, isn't it, when that's what's asked of you?
Yeah, you've just got to score runs. How interesting. Lauren Bell's got a deep backward square and a deep backward point.
All right, and a change of ends. She bowled from the James Anderson end before. Here to Mandana, and it's a low full toss squeezed away for 4. Well behind point. She just laid bat on it and let the pace do the work.
I mean, that's a brilliant shot, isn't it? That is manipulating the field down to a T. There's a deep backward point. She knows it. She steps outside off stump, opens the face of the bat, meets it on the full and guides it past short third and backward point.
Yep, she's got a ring field of 5 on that offside, and yet she just so deftly squeezed it between the 2 fielders behind square. Bell, little spring in a step there, but she gets into a delivery stride, full and on the drive, out to cover. Straight to the fielder this time. And so there's no run. But gosh, she just looks so elegant, doesn't she, Mandana, when she's on the drive through the covers.
Yeah, I mean, open the face of the bat for 4, crunch one to cover. It was a good job for England. There was a fielder there.
Yeah, that would have been disappearing. Well, Bell needs to bowl to her field here. 5 in the ring and 1 at deep backward point. She goes offside again. It has got through the gap, but there is protection there at deep point. So picked up by Dunkley. Sends the ball back into Jones, who's almost sort of Yorked as she takes that about 2 pitch widths away from the strip. Right down, squeezing a glove onto the ground. Floodlights are starting to come on. Alex Hartley is being lit up. Globe by
I prefer
globe.
turned on.
Yep, well, I wasn't going to say that, but yep. You have been.
Yeah, yeah. There's no need for it yet, though. It's still early days. The sun is shining.
Now, field is being brought up from deep point. So we've got point fielder in, 4 in the ring on the offside, 2 on the on. Deep square leg is still back. Bell moves in. Oh, it's a beam, having to duck underneath it. And a no ball, quite rightly so, to Verma. Passing her shoulder height, head height. She had to duck to get out of the way. It's just slipped out of the hand, and so we get a free hit.
I'm not even sure it was a back of the hand slower ball, that from Lauren Bell.
Just slips out the top of the fingers.
Yeah, just trying a little change up. It came out quite quick at 71 miles an hour.
And Verma did well to get out of the way. So it is a free hit, so she can't be out if she's bowled, caught. Bell moves in now. Bowls a full-length delivery. It's chipped up in the air. It's down the ground. This is going to be runs. Bounces just in front of the sponge for another 4. India cantering. Good use of the free hits, and the flags fly again, and those 4 placards are held up by the Indian crowd.
Well, not often do people miss out on free hits. Shafali Verma pretends to step away with her back foot, then goes back into a stance, It's well bowled by Lauren Bell, but it's shovelled down the ground. Brilliant bit of timing. And England are under the pump here. You feel they're going to have to bring Sophie Ecclestone on. I know it's not a good matchup, Ecclestone to Mandana, but they need a wicket.
They've got to put a halt to this momentum. A length ball beats the bat. It's prodding forward. Verma past the outside edge and through to Jones. So first time the ball genuinely passing the edge. And Smriti Mandana has something to say to Verma from the non-striker's end, exchanging some words, walking out of her crease a couple of steps towards her batting partner, continuing the conversation.
I think if Verma gets a 1 and is on strike, I'd be bringing Ecclestone on to bowl.
Let's see what happens. India off to a fabulous start with the bat here. Bell bowls full, chipped over the head of mid-on. It's 4 more. And this is trouble town for England, because only 4 overs into the run chase. And India are already 45 for none. Took England into the 8th over to reach this mark. And India have done it in 4.
Well, I think just the strength that India have at the minute is all down to the WPL, and they've improved so much in the last 2 or 3 years, haven't they? I mean, the way they've taken on the game, we are going to see Sophie Ecclestone come on from the far end, the Jimmy Anderson end, but just the way that they go about playing now, India, you just think, why did they not have a big domestic comp earlier? They could be world beaters.
It's about what they're waiting for the ideal commercial environment, wasn't it? But I feel like the fact that almost, every year it's like they have their own domestic World Cup.
Yeah.
That's the atmosphere that's created, isn't it? It's the pressure, it's the big crowds, and then it's the international nous and the coaches that are involved, the other players that you're rubbing shoulders with. Everything is high level, elite, high octane. So here is Sophie Ecclestone then, the 100th T20 international. Can she get a wicket here? Around the wicket, and Mandana just deftly turns her to mid-wicket. It saves a single because Shafali Verma was thinking about one, but sent back.
Yeah, I do wonder if they'd have won that World Cup in 2020, would they have started the WPL then?
Yeah, it could have been the moment for the momentum, wouldn't it? Ecclestone drags that one down a touch, flicked up and over mid-wicket. This should be 4 more, won't be cut off. So even the introduction of Ecclestone at the moment isn't stemming the flow of runs. Mandana moves on to 19. India 49 for none.
Oh, she loves that shovel, especially when square leg is up inside the ring and square leg's behind. There's now going to be a bit of a chat. Do they change the field? They bring mid-on up, mid-wicket, deep square leg. Now Smriti Mandana is going to be looking to go down the ground.
Will she take it on? She's been in such great form. Can't imagine if the invite's there that she won't. Chips this along the ground, just a punch drive without much follow through, up to mid-off in quite gentle but controlled fashion. She is very much in control of her game. Amy Jones behind the stumps, and Mandana waits with her bat poised in the air. Ecclestone from around the wicket, little tickle into the leg side, and Mandana jogging through for 1, vacant mid-wicket region. Moves on to 20 with Verma on 29. 50 is up for for India in just the 5th over. The target 127. They are well on their way. This would be a real statement victory for them. And it's a ground which is hosting matches in the T20 World Cup next year as well, Alex. And India have got a couple here. 2 matches that they'll play on this ground, so all of this is sort of vital intel gathering for them as well.
It's only right the home of cricket gets good games.
It does. Ecclestone moves in, Verma works it back past the bowler up towards mid-off, and they're hosting 5 matches here at Old Trafford, though one of them is a double header, so 3 dates of matches, I think that might be right.
Okay.
So the first 13th of June, which is a Saturday, it's a double header of which one of those matches is Australia against South Africa. Little use of the feet, chips into the ground, into the hands of the bowler, who flings it back towards Jones, and Verma very quickly gets her bat back behind the crease, even though those zing bails light up when Jones whipped off the bails. 50 up after just 5 overs. India absolutely motoring on their way to 127. Alex, I'll let you ponder the northern home of cricket's World Cup fixtures next year, and then Henry Moran's joining you.
Well, close your ears if you're an England fan. Listen carefully if you're Indian. This is the first time any team has made 3 50-plus opening stands against England women in a T20 series.
Woof. What a stat.
Sorry, I've been hogging your laptop.
That's all right.
It's quite handy having a laptop, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I never knew.
It's not been a great start this for England with the ball. India requires 77 from 90. At this point, you have to say it's going to take something quite special for England to turn it around and indeed get the win they need to stay in the series. Win predictor has India at 93.5%.
Well, the way they're going, it'll be done in the 12th over.
Could be, couldn't it? So round the wicket comes Izzy Wong into the attack with her right arm seam, and that is a sharp delivery which comes, I think, off the top edge of the bat and into the grill of Smriti Mandhana, who is waving to umpire Anna Harris to say, I'm okay, but the umpire, quite rightly, is calling to the physio to run on for a little quick concussion check.
Yeah, it was.
So
top edge.
That was a hostile ball, that.
It was the length of it that made it hostile, and Smriti just got herself in a bit of a tangle, which we've not seen very often throughout this series.
Well, Izzy Wong's main threat, has to be said, in her early stages as an England cricketer was that extra pace. And she looks like she's got good rhythm, actually, and tough couple of years for Izzy Wong. She was so much the face of England's new generation of cricketers, a lot of exposure, time on podcasts, this and that and the other, and then her form went a little bit off the rails. But she looks like she's somewhere back towards her best, and that's a real asset for England, I have to say.
Yeah, it is. It's so good to see her back, and yes, she's lacking a little bit of pace, but you only think that will come as she gets more confident, as she works on her action a little bit more. But it's good to see her back out there playing cricket, and especially in an England shirt.
So Shafali Verma in the power play, career strike rate of 140, which is the highest of any woman in the history of the format who's opened extensively, north of 50 innings. Thank you to Ben for the stat there. And I also asked Ben the question.
Who's Ben?
Ben Jones.
Ah, Benny boy.
Indeed. I asked the question of how many overs in the series India has scored a boundary off the first ball, because it's felt like they've done that really nicely. And it's 14 out of 64. I don't know if that's quite a lot, or I mean, it feels a reasonable ratio.
My thing is, I've just had to do a review for Multan and how, things weren't very good this season. My thing is always how you get in and out of overs and how you respond to being hit for a boundary.
Yeah.
Is your next ball then a dot or a one, or is it a boundary again?
We're ready to go once again. Mandhana none the worse for that little bump. And here is Izzy Wong, short and wide, and Mandhana thinks about winding up to send the ball crashing through the offside. Instead just rides the bounce, taps towards Schofield at cover point, and there is no run. The sun's setting over towards the Alex Hartley floodlight.
I can't wait for it to set. It's doing my head in.
The sun is doing your head in.
Yeah.
I'm afraid it performs a reasonably significant function in terms of our existence.
Makes me happier, I know that.
Here comes Wong to Mandhana, and she defends rather cautiously, perhaps just recognising that with 50 on the board, they've rather done their job in the power play, and why take any chances?
I tell you what, though.
Go on.
You and Ali are in for a right treat after the game today.
Oh, we're getting a lift home from you, aren't we?
Get to go in the wagon.
I know you've got one of those cars that...
It's really impractical.
Massively so. It's enormous, absolutely huge.
Don't fit anyone in
with
it.
No space in it.
No. Someone's going to have to be so cramped in the back of that car, it's ridiculous.
Here is Izzy Wong, round the wicket to bowl to the left-handed Mandhana, who's tapping the ball into the onside, wanting a single. Eccleston's arm is tested, but they do get through for one. That's good running, 51 without loss. The ball worked towards mid-on. The shadows now pretty much entirely covering the outfield.
Yeah, in hindsight, should have probably got a 5-door. But, we all make mistakes.
Honestly, in terms of volume of car as a ratio to practicality of usage, it's got about 8 different 4x4 settings as well.
Like I live on a farm.
I know.
Live in the city.
Verma on 29. Goes hard at that, into the offside. Could be a chance of a catch. No, just out of the reach of Sophie Eccleston, moving to her left at mid-off. Tough one, that. It was always just skewing away from her. And I don't think realistically she was ever in the game.
No, I feel like this was a decent chance from Eccleston, running over her left shoulder. She sort of falls at the ball rather than dives at it, but I actually think that's one of the better efforts that we've seen from Eccleston.
Wong to Mandana. She's swivelling, hammering the ball into the leg side, out towards deep mid-wicket where a fielder waits, and that is a good over from Izzy Wong to wrap up the power play. With just the 3 runs from it, 53 without loss after 6 overs. Compare that to where England were. And I think it is fair to say India are on top. England at that point 38 for 2, but it's what followed. It was from the end of the 9th over up until the 18th. In fact, the 19th, we didn't see a single boundary struck. And India have been motoring so far. Casey on the email, tms@bbc.co.uk. Is there data on how many times Alice Capsey's been dismissed playing a reverse sweep? Or her party trick, the ramp? I'll be interested to know. She seems like she gets out a lot doing it. All the best, Casey. tms@bbc.co.uk to join the conversation. Tomorrow we'll be live from Lords for the test match between England's men and India, 10:25, BBC Sounds 5 Sports Extra, and across BBC Sport with our highlights today at the test from 7 p.m. each evening on the Red Button iPlayer and BBC 4. Here comes Charlie Dean with her off-spin round the wicket from the far end, and Mandana is punching towards cover. There's a slip in place in the form of Capsey.
It'll be interesting to see how India go about this now. They're out of the power play, the field is spread. Boundaries are going to be harder to come by.
Dean in the long sleeves runs in, and Mandana thinks about going for something aggressive in the end, pats it into the turf, into the hands of the fielder on the bounce, hence the cheers.
Love a crowd catch. Sometimes the crowd make me think it is a catch.
What, as if they've seen something you haven't?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well, sometimes they've got a better angle. Here is Charlie Dean. And Mandana this time just angles the ball into space on the offside. We'll get a run. 53 without loss.
I'm not sure that
54, sorry.
The angle of what we watch from doesn't get much better though.
No, we're very
incredibly lucky.
Right behind the bowler's arm here at Old Trafford.
Never used to always be right behind the bowler's arm though, did it? Some places the commentary box would be like side on or at cow corner or... So thanks whoever got that changed.
Here is Charlie Dean, around the wicket to the right-handed Verma, who goes hard at that, into the leg side, could be a chance of a catch, drops just short. Capsey it was running in, with the sun behind her, and that vast expanse of dark grey plastic seating that will be well occupied, I imagine, during the test match next week between England and India. Good crowd in tonight, though.
Good crowd. Wonder if it's broken that fake record we were after.
Charlie Dean again, bowls to Mandana, who again rocks back, picks up an easy run, and looks content to be the nudger and nurdler in this partnership with 71 needed from 79.
I feel she's been a little bit tentative since she got hit on the head.
Yeah.
Since that top edge.
Well, you're probably right.
She's gone back to being like pokey and proddy.
Down the track comes Verma. She hasn't been, goes hard at that, into the leg side, but into the hands of the fielder. Takes a bit of a chance to Shafali Verma, and the wicket falls. England needed that, they really did. Went square on the leg side, and Shafali Verma's exciting, exhilarating knock comes to an end. 56 for 1, and Charlie Dean, the off-spinner, with the breakthrough, as it went sailing away into the hands, out there in the deep, the reliable hands of the fielder, Alice Capsey.
Charlie Dean's pumped as well from that wicket. Shafali Verma, I don't blame her for going for it. It's brilliant strike rate. She's walking off so slowly. She will have felt like she was on. She was hitting the ball so cleanly. But that boundary out there is big. It's bigger than we usually have. She's managed to pick out Alice Capsey, who doesn't really have to move at all. But you do feel, unless England can get one of the big 3 now, it's going to be India's game. And when I say big 3, I mean Mandana, Jamima Rodriguez or Harmanpreet Kaur.
Yeah, they need to get those wickets quickly, or at least a couple of them. I'm with you. You look at England's innings in comparison to what we saw from top order from this Indian duo. Shafali Verma 31 from 19. Nobody else got close to a strike rate like that. Apart from Sophie Eccleston, 16 from 10. But And look at the top order players. There was only Dunkley that actually was hitting it above a runner ball, apart from Beaumont, who was about a runner ball. But otherwise, it was all just, well, not tentative, just a little slow going from England.
It's a big call now. Alice Capsey coming on to bowl. Mandana on strike.
Alice Capsey with her off spin. She had a really good time of it in the WBBL. Bowling actually kind of what got her back into England reckoning. The shirt untucked and the long sleeve. She's coming in round the wicket to bowl to Mandana, who is sweeping well. Behind square it goes onto the leg side. And for 4 runs. Just as easy as you like, really. Helping it on its way. Field up inside the circle. That part of the ground. And Mandana very happy just to manipulate things as she sees fit.
I know a lot of cricket these days is about matchups and strengths and playing to people's weaknesses, but you need wickets. Bowl the best bowler in the world, Sophie Eccleston.
Capsey to Mandana, who this time is driving through the offside. Lovely shot again. There's protection in the form of Dunkley at deep cover, but it is such elegance. Leaning on the ball and it races off that bat. She's on to 29 or 26. India 61 for 1 in the 8th, chasing 128. They're well set. So you think England not necessarily getting the captaincy side of it wrong?
No, it's obviously a plan that they've done off the field. I mean, Mandana has taken down Eccleston on many occasions.
There's not many she hasn't, to be fair.
It's true.
Rodrigues waits, the right-hander, diminutive at the crease, but powerful, and she pulls the ball into space on the leg side. Should get a couple as Dunkley slides, picks up and throws that long distance of probably the best part of 75 yards in. And a couple of runs are taken. India move to 63 for 1, chasing 128. It's one of those, isn't it, Al, where feels a little bit like as Capsey comes in, bowls to Rodrigues, who works the ball behind square on the leg side, and 1 run is taken, 64 for 1. And you mention it, that India could win the game in the first 5 overs, and it feels as though they possibly have done that.
Yeah, it felt like the game could be won or lost in the power play. And for me, Shafali Verma has basically won India this game.
Mandana driving to the offside it goes, beats the dive of the fielder, races out towards the deep where Dunkley will have to again be busy to run in front of that new hotel building. A few spectators enjoying the sunshine. Some wonderful photos being taken, I should imagine, of the sun setting behind that big temporary stand. It's quite a picture as Old Trafford underneath blue skies on this lovely warm July evening. Here's Capsey. Mandana defends all the time in the world. Pats the ball into the offside. Capsey takes her cap from the umpire. And after 8 overs, India chasing 128 to 66 for 1. Mandana is on 31. Rodrigues is on 3. And 10 runs come from the over. England, by the way, were 54 for 2 at this point.
Oh, we're going to see Sophie Eccleston from the Jimmy Anderson end.
That's what you wanted?
Yes. I reckon.
What do you reckon?
There's going to be a wicket this over.
Okay.
And I reckon it's going to be Mandana.
I think it is a bold call.
I can feel it.
And a call that I like. When you get these feelings with such conviction, Al.
Well, I feel them deep inside.
I know.
Yeah.
You don't often go with it with that much certainty.
No, they come from within.
Well, we'll wait and see. She's not on strike, man. It'd be a laugh if Rodrigues just patted the ball back all over.
She's run out of the non-striker's end.
Yeah.
I told you so.
That'd count. I would be surprised. So, deep cover, long off. Deep mid-wicket, deep backward square. The fielder's outside the circle as swivelling, pulling the ball into the leg side is Rodrigues to get Mandana on strike. Here we go. 67 for 1. This is what you called for.
Now, don't be fooled if she hits a 4. She's got 5 balls.
Oh, don't worry.
Yeah.
I'll be ticking them off.
Just for the listeners,
Yes.
saying, well, you said she was going to get her out. She's allowed to hit for 4. Just feel she's going to get her out.
Field comes up inside the circle on the offside. Here comes Eccleston round the wicket to Mandana. Gets a little leg side ball to work towards short fine leg. A little slow setting off, but does get back for the run. And Rodriguez called that rather than Mandana, and it's 68 for 1.
A little bit of a wayward throw from Lauren Bell, who, by the way, has taken some unbelievable catches this summer.
Yeah.
That one at the Oval, unfortunately stuck, but she went over the boundary.
Oh, it was incredible. She had just dropped one, but it was incredible. Rodriguez pats into the offside. Good running again, just putting the pressure on Tammy Beaumont at cover, the England captain. No run, in fact, just one run taken, forgive me, 69 for 1. 58 needed off 69.
Well, there's absolutely no need really to take any risks against Eccleston now, is there?
No.
So in control of the game. Less than a run of ball needed for India.
So why would you get out to her, I suppose, Alan?
Exactly.
But will she?
She will.
Mandana waits and goes hard at that. Amy Jones whips the bails off as it misses the bat of India's opener. Not far away. You've only got, though, 2 more balls for your wicket.
Well,
Still confident?
Absolutely. We're just going to have a quick look at this stumping as well. Once you say something, you've got to believe in yourself, you know? I can't start changing my mind.
You change your mind.
I'm strong in my statements.
You are strong in your convictions. I know you are, but I've seen you change your mind about all sorts of things.
Yeah, well, you know, change my mind about partners a lot.
I wasn't going to mention that. Yeah, the DRS for Alex's love life. God.
We could do a whole book on it.
Tell you what.
Well, we're just got a little stoppage in play as Eccleston and Beaumont talk to each other.
Yeah. 69 for 1 is the score. 58 needed from 68. Mandana is on 32 at the moment. Umpire Ian Blackwell is being asked to look towards the big screen. Now, has that back foot come up?
No.
I don't think so. No, it hasn't. No. As we were. Thing is, everyone's shielding their eyes up towards the big screen. They can't really see because of the sun. It's not out.
We're just not used to it up here, you know?
What, the sun?
Yeah.
69 for 1 the score. Not out, it now reads. We could have said a few minutes ago. Here comes Eccleston again to Mandana. He's got big gaps on the leg side to work with. She goes hard into the offside and is caught. Caught at short third by Lauren Filer. Smriti Mandana is out. England get the wicket of the superstar left-hander for 32. And 69 for 2 suddenly doesn't look quite as straightforward for an India side who had been flying. But 2 quick wickets could just change everything. Sophie Eccleston strikes. Smriti Mandana goes for 32.
100th game as well for England. Sophie Eccleston, the youngest player to do so for England. And Mandana just looking to take Eccleston on, comes down the pitch, gives herself too much room. A thick outside edge is caught at short fine. And could this game have a little twist in it? I still feel one more wicket, then you never know. But at the minute, it should be India's.
Well, you called it. There you go.
I told you I felt
You're
it deep inside.
Very pleased with that, and I'm very pleased with that for you, Al. That was good work. Harmanpreet Kaur comes to middle, 181st T20 International.
Now here's something. Sophie Eccleston always gets Harmanpreet Kaur out.
But you're not going to commit to it being this ball?
Not
Okay.
first ball. Oh, that was Sophie Eccleston's 300th international wicket in all formats.
Lovely.
She's the 7th woman to reach that mark.
Can you name the others? Have you got them in front of you? No, good. That would be ruining the fun. Eccleston, far into the ground. Ready to bowl to the right-handed Indian captain. And she's in now, and Harmanpreet, cool as you like, will tap into the onside for a single, and India after 9 overs, 70 for 2, chasing 128.
Well, Goswami took, I want to say 355,
Yep.
as did Catherine Sivabrunt.
Oh, well, they absolutely the same.
Yeah, they were the same. Perry is on about 330, maybe 331. Ishmael, she's retired 315, 317, I want to say, for Ishmael. Deepti Sharma broke through her 300th in the first innings. And Anisa Mahmood, I think she only got 305. But they're just like guesses.
You're a shocker. You're an absolute shocker.
Good guesses though, weren't
You
they?
are disgraceful.
Hypercross gave us the previous list when Deepti Sharma brought up her 300th wicket in the first innings.
We had a great email in from Michael. Oh dear. Watching in the pavilion. Here comes Lauren Filer. Harmanpreet Kaur waiting. And playing at a ground she knows well, up on her toes, clipping the ball into the leg side for a single, turning for a second that's not there. 71 for 2. She's played for Lancashire and Northern's, forgive me, the Manchester Originals here in the 100. Michael sat in the pavilion watching the game, listening to TMS, slightly delayed. But seeing Alex put her arms up when the wicket fell was brilliant. More predictions, please.
Hi, Michael.
Hello, Michael. Lovely to have you with us. Jemima Rodrigues. We're waiting for Filer, and that's nicely clipped into the leg side behind square. I mean, this is all India need to do, actually, at this point, is just nudge and nurdle and keep things ticking over. They require 55 from 64 and not to do anything silly.
Yeah, I'd love a... I'm just a big fan of a bouncer, but I would love a bouncer from Filer.
Here is Filer again. Bustling in, past the umpire Anna Harris. And there is the bouncer, swaying out of the way as Harmanpreet. It was a bit short, it was a bit wide. And so it will be signalled as wide. I had a lovely chat with Lauren Filer yesterday. And she was really interesting, speaking about the prospect of bowling at 80 miles an hour. And when she spoke about it, it was interesting, the motivation behind it. Harmanpreet waits for Filer, short and wide, not a great ball. It's clattered towards deep cover for just the one run. 53 needed from 63. She said, the reason I want to hit the milestone is not necessarily the milestone in myself, but proving that women can get there. And hopefully that others can follow as well. I don't want to be one or two people. We want lots of women able to be bowling at that sort of speed. People are talking about it more than they were after Friday and that brilliant spell she bowled. She comes in now, does Lauren Filer, and there's a ball that is too quick for Jemima Rodrigues. That's the mid-70s from Filer, but it's skidded off the surface with some pace. And she went on to say, obviously the women's game's gone so prolific over the last few years. I know when I come off the pitch, a lot of people say how excited they are to watch that sort of bowling. And even if I do go up for some runs but pick up a couple of wickets and make the game more exciting, it's exactly what I want to do, and obviously helping them win games as well. I love the attitude.
Yeah, I do as well. Just got the freedom to just bang it in and bowl quick.
Yeah. Runs in, arms pumping now. And again, too quick. And Rodrigues can do nothing with it. It's thrilling bowling, it really is, from Lauren Filer. 53 needed from 61, and Rodrigues, who is one of the game's best, takes a little step towards the leg side, towards a square leg umpire in Blackwell. And we'll have to have a think.
Do you know what she hasn't instead? She's not fallen over.
No, she hasn't.
Stayed on her feet today.
Good point. Maybe she's got some longer spikes. Filer running in. And again, beats the edge of the bat. This one cranking up to 77 miles an hour. Lauren Filer with 3 quick balls that have all beaten the bat of Jemima Rodrigues. 74 for 2. It's been 18 balls since we've seen a boundary. Alex, you're going to have a break. And as drinks are being taken, Alison Mitchell is going to join us. And it gives me the chance just to say that tomorrow from Lords at 10:25, we'll be live on air on BBC Sounds 5 Sports Extra for the 3rd men's test match between England and India. Series level at 1-1. Jofra Archer back in the England side. And Ali, I'm going to ask you this question because I always make sure I tune in. Stumped this week, World Service Cricket Podcast.
Yes.
What have you got for us?
I'm going to find out in the morning.
Ah!
keep you on your toes. I think we will be chatting about Vian Mulder
Yes.
Would you declare 33 runs short of an all-time world record?
Would I?
Ben Stokes was asked, which was quite amusing. And you suspect from his answer that he probably wouldn't. But
No.
albeit when you're the captain, it's a little bit easier to make that decision, he said, or not. Whereas he said he could never pull someone else in. You know? If you were in the pavilion and you've got a teammate out there who is on the cusp of that record, yes, then he would find it very hard to pull someone in. But the way he looked and said, well, you know, Mulder's never going to get that chance again, is he?
Was it disrespectful to Zimbabwe?
The fact that he pulled out.
Yeah.
See, I haven't heard his quotes actually afterwards, because I'd be really interested to hear. Was he really quizzed about that decision at the end? Like, I sort of saw one quote of him, but not really extensively to understand what he.
I think he mentioned the fact that Brian Lara's record, a legendary,
should stay forever. But that's rubbish, because records are there to be broken.
Well, records are, and you're sort of thereby suggesting that the England bowling attack that bowled in Antigua, you know, Darren Gough and Andrew Caddick and Steve Harmison, I think it was that day, or certainly one of those days, that somehow they were worthy bowlers to take down and score 400.
Well,
but
I think it's just the team, isn't it? When you know, Zimbabwe are not in the top tier of Test cricket.
Not sure England were at that
They're
point.
not in the World Test Championship. Well,
I know what you're saying,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It's a really interesting debate.
It is, because you've still got to score those runs, haven't you? I mean, it's not every, you know, England didn't make 300 against Zimbabwe when they played them in a Test match recently.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Anyhow, we could debate it, and you will tomorrow.
We will. We'll talk about that. We'll be talking about this series. We'll be talking about the England men's series with India as well. And we're going to be talking about the future of Test cricket as well, as Wong is in, stroked out towards cover. A direct hit. Oh, there's going to be an extra run here, an overthrow. The ricochet off the stumps. That'll be punished for a direct hit. But Wong now gets over the stumps and the ball comes to the... Oh, now Amy Jones has parried it and there could be another overthrow. But in the end, the glove is held up and Harmanpreet says, you know what, that'll be enough. Well, the direct hit came in first. Back for a second. It's Rodrigues. And they say, well, that'll do. And they come back for a third. And there could have been a fourth when Jones parried it. 76 for 2 is the score. We've got Mike Yardy coming on, who's coach of England under-19s men at the moment. Wong moves in from the James Anderson end, tucked behind square, setting off very quickly is Harmanpreet. And it's just the single. India needing 51 from 59 balls with 8 wickets in hand. Make that 50 now from 58 with 8 wickets in hand. So yeah, we'll be chatting about the next gen, because England and India are both playing under-19s as well. So just a bit of a window into who's coming up in the ranks around world cricket. And Jim Maxwell will be able to talk a little bit about Australia's youngsters, because you know that team is ageing. As you say, there will be retirements. And some might even be at the end of the next Ashes. Wong moves in here to Rodrigues. That one sits up and she guides it away. Drops in front of short third where it's parried. And Bell picks up as they take one. Slightly back of the length, the rising ball that she looked to get up on her toes and try to guide through deep third. And Bell's up inside the circle. 78 for 2, India.
The likes of India's 14-year-old Vaibhav Suryavanshi.
Well, he is playing at the moment, isn't he, in the under-19? So it'd be interesting to get Yardy's perspective, having sort of seen him up close.
And we've also Rocky Flintoff, Archie Vaughan.
Yeah, there's a good crop. Wong moves in. Lengthy run-up, smooth run-up, approaches the crease here. Harmanpreet waits for that one, tickles it behind square leg, sets off for one. Deep backward square moves in off the boundary. Dean sends the ball back into the middle. So I've just been left a little gift here by Alex. I sat down to a little pile of teeny tiny little squares of white paper, all in a neat heap.
I know, she fidgets.
I saw a few kind of fluttered around the table when I sat down before. I thought, where have these come from? And now I know. Wong in over the wicket. Swept well in front of square. 2 fielders out on the boundary. With the setting sun behind. Another one added to India's total. England need to disrupt partnerships. They need to try and stutter the innings in the way that India did to England, where they couldn't get partnerships going, but they've been given a really good platform by Mandana, and Verma in particular with her strike rate, 31 from 19 before she was dismissed. A catch by Capsey. She picked her out perfectly at deep mid-wicket of Charlie Dean. So the two spinners have taken the wicket so far, both catches. Wong moves in again. Worked into the leg side. They'll take one up towards the mid-on region. Fielder comes in off the boundary. Wong operating at that 70 mile per hour mark at the moment. Takes a cap from the umpire, and that's sort of where Izzy Wong is really at the moment, isn't she? 81 for 2 after 11 overs, needing about 5.1-ish from here.
Yeah, and Izzy Wong has bowled really nicely, good control, and yeah, out of the power play makes it a little easier to stem the runs, but she's bowled nicely so far. 2 overs, none for 10. Suryavanshi, by the way, the teenage sensation, hit 143 from 73 against England under-19s at Worcester this week.
We might mention that.
That might be worth mentioning. And the other little nugget to throw in there, hypercoursed on the social media regarding the quality of opposition. 63 of Lara's 400 not out came off the bowling of Vaughan and Trescothick.
Oh, well.
Well, Michael Vaughan's bowled Sachin Tendulkar. I'll throw that out there.
And he will keep reminding us of that forevermore. Dean in, looking to play that sort of chop late sweep, the stand-up sweep, but it's down the leg side and a wide called by our umpire. Harmanpreet is there, 8 not out from 7. Rodriguez on 8 at the non-striker's end, leaning on her bat handle, one hand on her hip. Dean moves in with her off-spin. Missed into the gloves of Jones, who takes off the bails, but Harmanpreet is back within her ground. Ball beating bat. And this one didn't turn a great deal. Moving away towards the offside, looking to steer it out through the off where the 3 fielders are up inside the circle. 82 for 2. India need 45 from 53 for a series win with a match to play. Dean gives us one more outside the off stump. Missed again by Harmanpreet and into the gloves of Jones. She's down on one knee there, looking to play a much more expansive shot. So 2 plays and misses from the Indian captain in pursuit of this total. And Dean just toying with her there, tossing it up outside the off stump. Dean moves in again, a little straighter, turned through the vacant mid-wicket region. Harmanpreet setting off for the single, gets it comfortably. Beaumont moves across to her right-hand side to field. Lovely blue sky up above with just wispy, wispy high clouds. And the sun directly in our eyes.
Well,
directly above the electronic scoreboard. A beautiful evening for watching cricket. Dean around the wicket now to Rodriguez, right-handed, and nudges it out. A little bit more force with that bottom hand, setting up very quickly for the first run through that leg side. Fielded in the deep by Dunkley. Back into Dean, who's right over the stumps to gather that one. 1 for 17 she's taken. 2.4 overs so far. Every bowler 4 overs in the T20 format here. Protection at the deep backward square boundary. Long off, long on both back. Just back of a length that one. Enables Harmanpreet to get down low, sweep it out to Capsey at deep square, and they take 1. Back into the gloves of Jones. One more ball to come here from Dean in this over. Got the wicket of Shafali Verma, which was an important blow. But this is an equally important partnership for India. Rodriguez 63 off 41 in the game in Bristol, the India won. Dean in a little quicker. Driven back down the ground aerially, and then a couple of bounces. Little juggling the pickup from Eccleston. They think about going back for another. Throw comes back into Dean to end the over. So 12 gone. India 86 for 2, needing 41 more runs from the last 8 overs. So the run rate needed from here, 5.13 per over. They've been going at over 7.
Yeah.
So England have got to get more wickets. That's that balance, isn't it, Henry, between getting fielders up and being attacking, but knowing that can also then open more gaps and allow them to get these runs even quicker.
Well, a lot of the memories of 2017 and that World Cup final obviously were the end of the game, the drama of Anya Shrubsole's wickets at Lord's that amazing day, which is incredibly 8 years ago now. But much of the setup for that were England being able to stop India from rotating the strike. But I think that's something that India have done far better than England during this series. And Harmanpreet was part of that India side that day, scored a 50 before falling to an excellent left-arm spinner who's sitting over there in this commentary box.
Around the wicket, Eccleston is back here. Heaved into the deep mid-wicket region, right into that setting sun. One bounce though, fielded on inside the boundary. And only one here for Rodrigues, who moves on to 11 from 13. 40 needed from 47. It's an unruffled team though, isn't it? You feel they learn so much, and they have learned so much from various defeats, coupled with saying the pressure matches they're more accustomed to playing in the WPL. But struck on the pad here, looking to play it across the line. An appeal from Eccleston, which, is it dying away? Coming together here with Amy Jones, the keeper, and Beaumont, the captain, and she's asked for the review. Well, it's Harmanpreet, it's the Indian captain, and she's on 10. This will be a really important wicket for England to get, to try and halt the momentum, disrupt this Indian progression. Eccleston waiting, hands on hips. They don't look that convinced to me, Henry.
It's not one of those where you think there's a great injustice having been done. It feels more that there is a bit of hope that something is going their way.
Yeah, they hope because it's Harmanpreet. This might be the one. A foolish delivery. It strikes her on the back leg. Now, did it straighten enough? Has it struck in line? Or is it going down the leg side? Checking to see whether there was any bats. It's gone past the inside edge.
No.
So strikes her on the knee roll of the bent back leg, on the flap of the pad rather. Here we go, ball tracking. It has pitched in line with leg stump. Impact though is outside the line of the leg stump. So she'd made enough room and survives the review. England lose a review then. And Eccleston will have to continue bowling here with Harmanpreet on strike. 87 for 2 India, 40 needed from 46 balls. Eccleston around the wicket, big swing and a miss here from Harmanpreet. Jones again whipping off those bails. So a number of times she's being beaten, whether it's Dean or Eccleston, by this spin.
Eccleston's bowled really nicely, 2.3 overs, 1 for 10. Feels like every game that goes by she's finding that confidence and rhythm.
Yeah, late entry to the international scene, given time by Charlotte Edwards to fully recover from injury before coming back into the fold. Played some domestic. You feel, yeah, it does take her, is taking her a little bit of time to really fully get into the mode where she can make the kind of impact that we're used to seeing from her. Eccleston around the wicket again, another miss, and struck on the pad once more. Going for a big sweep that time. Umpire says not out, and no interest this time from Eccleston, or indeed Jones. Walks back to the end of her mark. Got her hair in braids into a ponytail, has Eccleston. Seem big. I mean, if she gets hold of one of these, the ball's disappearing. Putting a lot into the shots. Eccleston in again, makes some room out to the offside, gets it under backward points. He gets a hand to it to take some pace off the ball. Through for just a single. Izzy Wong getting something on it to save what might well have been a boundary, because there's no fielders back on the fence on that offside of the ground. 3 in the ring, plus short third who's behind square. Last ball of the over, Eccleston here too. Rodrigues drops it into the offside. Wong scampers in from point, doesn't pick it up cleanly, but ensures it is a dot ball to end Eccleston's over. So 3 overs and 1 for 11 she's taken so far. And the Old Trafford crowd here are loving Eccleston as the local hero. 88 for 2, 7 overs left. Run rate is creeping up, 5.57, but more pressure is needed to be applied. Here we go on the big screen, a record Emirates Old Trafford attendance for a women's international fixture. Well done everyone for coming tonight. That is a great record to get. And it's been a cracking atmosphere as well.
7,475, the attendance.
Okay, well, does that mean a couple of thousand didn't show up if we heard that 9,000 had been sold?
Oh, good point.
But that attendance will be noted, and it is a record attendance for women's international here. So
is it record
another
in the north?
Well, that hasn't been clarified. New over, Bell into Harmanpreet with the keeper standing up. Oh, but it's got through. It will be picked up though to save. It's just the one. But Wong is there on the edge of the circle, wide as well, squeezing down the leg side. So the run plus the extra takes India to 90 for 2. in this 14th over. India set 127. The top scorer for England was Sophia Dunkley with 22. And the best partnership, that for the third wicket, 35 from 30 balls. As Bell moves in again, sets herself for the ramp, plays it to short third, drops just in front of Lauren Filer. 3 for 1. She set herself early, decided that was a shot she was going to play to Bell. And actually set herself very much like the dill scoop, with the bat firmly out in front of her, and then tippled it over the right shoulder to get that angle. Seemed to have all the time in the world. Didn't quite get enough on it to really clear the fielder. Bell in again, trying to batter it back down the ground. I think Bell got fingertips to it. It's taken a bit of pace off. It's only one, because the ball is cut off by Schofield down in front of us. Moving to her left-hand side from long on. Rodrigues 12 from 15, and the target, the runs required, is now down to 35 from 40. England need wickets.
They do.
Bell turns a little gallop and a hop at the start of her run-up, gets into a stride. Keeper still standing up outside the off stump, and beautifully driven square. Now can it be cut off? Racing across to the left-hand side. Can be. Tumbling stop. The pick up and throw from Wyatt Hodges on the boundary. Good bit of work from her. She had to cover some ground quickly.
Standard of ground fielding in the deep today from both sides has been really good, Ali, hasn't it? Then Radha Yadav in particular, outstanding for India in the field. Jemima Rodrigues similarly. And Danny Wyatt Hodge, who is one of the more senior members of this England team. She's always been a brilliant fielder, but that is really leading by example. And that, to all intents and purposes, should have been 4 runs, but it's a great bit of work.
She's 34 now. Sort of the Lydia Greenway of her generation. Lydia was always at backward point, wasn't she? Wyatt scampers and covers so much ground on the boundary. Sets herself for the ramp, and she got bat on it. It's gone up in the air and barely makes it over Amy Jones's head. She pulls off her keeper's glove to fling the ball back to the non-striker's end. So there's a couple of times Rodrigues is set to play that shot. And with Amy Jones standing up, well, she sort of put her gloves right up to block it, almost goalkeeper style, and did manage to parry it to block it. Bell moves in again here. Hard towards mid-off, hasn't quite carried to Eccleston. Through for a single. But looking to play aggressively. 96 for 2, India. Bell really, she tried to run her fingers over that ball and change the pace. Didn't quite get to Eccleston, who did dive forward. She saved the runs by getting her hands to it. False start from Bell in the run-up. It's back to the end of her mark and is ready to go again. Moves in up past the umpire. Rodrigues awaits. He's taking pace off it again. Back down the ground. Better connection this time for 4. And Rodrigues and India are motoring once again. And all the pressure is on England here as they try and stay alive in this series. That brings the 100 up, 100 for 2. Real flourish of the bat there from Rodrigues. The follow through is quite magnificent. Real snap of the wrists and brings that bat fully over the shoulder. So 27 required from 36 deliveries.
First boundary, Ali, since the start of the 8th over, and just a second boundary outside the power play.
Well, that was what the wicket of Verma did, didn't it? There was a period where they were keeping them to 1s and 2s, but it feels like the shackles have just been broken again. Over number 14. And it's Charlie Dean in place of Eccleston from the pavilion end. Harmanpreet on 13. Dean moves in outside the off stump. She's beaten again. She's struggling to make a connection. So many plays and misses, and she thumps the toe of her bat onto the ground. And here comes Rodrigues to have a word with her captain. A bit of encouragement and a punch of glove. 13 from 18. Is Harmanpreet's score, and India need 27 from 35. They've never won a T20 international series on English soil, looking for a little paddle, but again doesn't make contact cleanly. Amy Jones is there to pick up behind the stumps. The ball dribbled off the battle body of Harmanpreet, off the pad into the body, dribbled away. Dean moves into Harmanpreet outside the off stump, up and over cover. Is it 4? It is 4. One bounce inside the rope. The field up on that side of the ground. And Harmanpreet enjoys it there. Says thank you, really freed the arms, having struggled to make a connection. Boy, did she connect then.
Horrible ball, would have been wide had it been left alone. It was full, it was wide, it was tempting. It was a pie, I'm afraid. If you look up dictionary definition, well, that was it.
Put away, the eyes lit up from Harmanpreet. Now 23 needed from 33. Harmanpreet on 17 as Dean moves in again. Quicker ball, heaved over the leg side this time. There is a fielder there, but can't make it. One bounce, 4 more. It was Capsey in the deep. Back-to-back boundaries now off the bat of the Indian captain, who is looking to motor her team towards the target. Just 19 needed from 32. It went high, it went handsome. It went behind square on that leg side. She just opened her stance, swung that bat around the corner. So 2 dots and 2 boundaries this over. Dean in again to Harmanpreet. She looks to go leg side once again, higher, but there is a fielder this time. Has she got enough on it? Drops safely and is collected inside the boundary rope. It's just the one. Harmanpreet, I think, was desperate to come back for 2 to be on strike again.
And they've never won a T20 series in this country, India.
Never. No, this is breaking new ground for them. And they are on the brink, closing in. And the captain, I'm sure, is desperate to be there at the close. Rodrigues is on strike at the moment. Little tip and run through mid-wicket, running really hard for that first. It's left for Charlie Dean to chase to the edge of the circle to pick up. So 30 balls left in the innings, with just 17 runs needed. England have not been able to apply the pressure, not been able to take the wickets that they needed to make this run chase a taller order. The target 127 set by England. Charlotte Edwards is now cutting a lone figure, sitting in that England dressing room, and she's got a rather stern look on her face. Her first series defeat as coach this would be, having really galloped through the West Indies series. But this is India, this is modern day 2020. What year are we? 5, India.
Oh, I know, don't. We do lose track. Ali, thank you very much indeed. Alex Hart is going to join us for the concluding stages, and you're going to go and get some reaction. And it looks like reaction is going to be celebratory for India, and questions to answer for England with 17 needed from 30. Alex, you're grimacing.
There are, but okay.
What?
Charlotte Edwards hasn't been coach for that long, and she's not going to have been able to make this team that much better in such a short space of time. So are we expecting too much because of the changes that have happened?
Possibly. Here is Izzy Wong. 2 bowled to Rodrigues, hacking that ball into the leg side from deep in the crease, getting a single, turning for a second and pushing and threatening and getting that second run as well. That's really good running. And the score 15 off 29.
Because it's not like Charlotte Edwards has come in, Natseva Brunt's taken over, and they've got a whole new personnel of players.
No.
They've got the same 11.
More or less.
More or less.
Yeah.
So I think we just need to give them time to...
Oh, yeah, I totally agree with that. I think...
But yeah, still, England should be the second best team in the world, and India could knock them off that at the minute.
Well, yeah, I think what you'd say is, regardless of Charlotte Edwards' involvement, if it was John Lewis still coaching, that
what's going wrong?
England should still be probably beating India at home. Maybe not.
Absolutely.
Maybe
no, I
not.
agree.
Wong bowls a full delivery, which is touch down the ground. It is just a touch ease towards long on.
And it's not being competitive.
No.
And I think that's the thing. India have walked the games. The last game at the Oval, England did really well to win. I think India should have won. Well, they should have. You know, they were cruising. Yeah, it's a really strange time to be an England cricketer.
14 needed off 28 for India, 8 wickets in hand. It's just not really felt. Do you know what it's felt like, Al, a little bit for 3 of the matches, certainly in this series? Almost like, you know, when England play against West Indies, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's felt like there's a gulf. Here is Wong, and shoveled around the corner, down towards fine leg for 4. She's been waiting to play that shot as Harmanpreet Kaur with the keeper up, and it goes down towards some very noisy, enthusiastic India supporters who are seeing their side head towards victory. 10 needed from 27.
Yeah, Harmanpreet loves that shot as well, doesn't she? She's had a peculiar innings as Harmanpreet, with a few play and misses when the spinners have been on, but as soon as England have missed their lines, she's taken advantage. And it's just, as soon as these two came out to the middle, you knew England needed one more quick wicket. Otherwise, it was going to be a walk in the park.
I think Izzy Wong's been a bright spot from what we've seen today and the other night as well.
Agreed.
She's bowled 2.5 overs, none for 17. Runs in now to bowl to Harmanpreet, who's drilling the ball into the offside towards Beaumont, who moves to her right from extra cover. 10 needed from 26 for India as the sun just dips behind the point.
Finally.
That executive box, and at long last you can take off your rather natty sunglasses.
They're spectacular, aren't they?
Aren't they? Something tells me they're the sort of sunglasses, dare I say it,
They didn't cost more than your car.
well, it reminds me of a Dolly Parton quote.
Okay.
You weren't expecting that, were you?
No.
10 needed from 26. Izzy Wong, floodlight shining down, is bowling a ball which is in the air and taken. Up towards Eccleston at mid-off, and Harmanpreet goes. England do get the wicket. Whether it'll do enough, I sense probably not, with India so close to the finish line. But Izzy Wong's excellent spell of bowling does yield a reward. Missed time, slapped towards mid-off, and there was Eccleston to move to her right to take an easy catch. And India do lose a 3rd wicket. They're 117 for 3. Harmanpreet Kaur gone, 26 from 25.
She should have seen India home there, the captain. It's a weak dismissal, trying to hit Wong back down the ground. When you only need 10 runs to win, you're set. You've really got to see your team home.
When you cried shot, I was with you. I thought I was sailing
I thought
towards
she
us.
crunched it.
Yeah. And so we are going to see Amanjot Kaur coming to the middle.
Good batter. She's going to be a good player.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Amanjot looks a real prospect. And an innings that she played in the second T20, 63 not out of 40, really did underline that. 16th game in T20 international cricket. It's got a higher score during this series, that's 63 not out, but she does average over 40. And a good strike rate as well, 133. 1 ball left of the over, 10 needed from 24. Izzy Wong just sweeps her hair back below us and brings the field upper inside the circle. Paige Schofield's run in from long on. As Izzy Wong is in. To bowl to the right-handed Amanjot Kaur, waiting at the crease and swivelling to pull the ball down towards fine leg for 1. She'll keep the strike. India's requirement is into single figures, 118 for 3, so they're getting close. A reminder, tomorrow morning, 10:25, 5 Sports Extra, BBC Sounds across the BBC, our coverage of the men's test between England and India from Lord's, home of cricket. There'll be highlights 7 p.m. today at the test with Isha Guha and the team. That's BBC 4 and the iPlayer and Red Button, and highlights of this match from Old Trafford available on the Red Button and iPlayer tonight from 11.
Dolly Parton.
Yes, so your sunglasses,
Yes.
which are very loud, flashes of gold and all sorts going on. A famous quote of hers is, "It cost an awful lot of money for me to look this cheap." Which is a wonderful quote.
Yeah, very good.
And there's something, you know, sometimes you see sunglasses and you think, well, those could be proper sort of £1 jobs that you pick up wherever, you know. You could have got them as you're queuing up at the tills somewhere, and you just think, oh, I'll grab those while I'm here.
I've left my sunnies at home.
You got it. Yeah. Here is Sophie Eccleston round the wicket. Chipped into the leg side nicely by Amanjot, who's hustling quickly for the first run and wants the second as well. Puts the pressure on. Oh, that could be a run out, this. That's so unnecessary just to even give yourself the stress of it. And they will check it. Charlie Dean with the throw. Amy Jones with the shot. Taken, then whipping those bails off. And have England got a fourth here?
Well, it would seem like it. Charlie Dean just nods ahead and says, yeah, that's out. We are going to have a look at it. It was the stop-start. And, yeah, she's gone.
Yeah, she's gone. That's crazy running. Really is.
Silly. Very, very silly.
So unnecessary.
She's out by
a yard.
a long way. Yeah.
Well, India lose a fourth. Surely not. Surely not from here.
No. Still got Richa Ghosh to come in.
Well, thumbs up from the umpire. And we're going to see the big screen say out, and it does. So 9 needed from 23. But or 8 rather from 23, having got the first run. But Amanjot has to go, and that's a rather unnecessary dismissal. 2 from 2.
Yeah, you can see why she's stomping off. She knows that was very silly. No need. India in total control. One there would have been absolutely fine, but she wanted to face Sophie Eccleston.
Yeah. So Richa Ghosh, still a young player, but 66 T20 internationals now. Sophie Eccleston for the far end round the wicket with the left arm spin, and it's hit in the air just clear of Dunkley at extra cover. Ghosh isn't hanging around. She'll turn for a second run, and this is easily 2. And India now in theory just 1 hit away, 6 required from 22. Ghosh looks like she's in the mood to make it 1 hit.
Well, I would love that.
Just for my peace of mind, how much were the sunglasses?
150 smackers.
That is more than I expected.
Was it?
Yeah. Ghosh drives into the offside. Oh, beats the fielder. Should have been stopped. And it'll go to the boundary for 4 through cover. Sophia Dunkley got there, couldn't stop it, and India are on the brink. 2 needed from 21.
Well, that's not the reason England have lost this game, but it definitely doesn't help. It's drilled to extra cover. Sophia Dunkley, it takes a bounce off that wicket end, and it goes past her all the way for 4.
Should have been stopped. India flags flying.
Everyone's got to come in now, surely.
Well, yeah.
Deep mid-wicket, just in case.
2 for 21. 2 from 21 is the requirement. My gosh, has got 6 from 2. Dangerous player in the middle order. Driving towards mid-off. No run there. 2 needed from 20. Eccleston's figures with 2 balls left of her spell in her 100th T20. 1 for 18.
She's just got better and better as the games have gone on, hasn't she?
Yeah. 2 needed. Eccleston bowls to Richa Ghosh, who nicely angles the ball to the right of Beaumont, the stand-in captain at mid-wicket. 1 taken, scores level. And India now just need to pick up 1 run to get over the line.
There you can see deep mid-wicket, Danny Wyatt-Hodge is halfway between the ring and the boundary. Just lingering.
Here is Eccleston, 1 needed for India. Paddle played, beautifully played by Jemima Rodriguez, who runs away. Bat raised, India win, and win comfortably. And they've won the series to boot. The flames go up at Old Trafford. It's the India supporters celebrating the first T20 series win in England for an India side that have made a real statement over the course of the last couple of weeks. With a game left of the series, India have an unassailable 3-1 lead. They've beaten England by 6 wickets and chased down a target with consummate ease.
Well, knew from the first innings that England didn't have enough on the board. They lost consistent wickets. They couldn't build partnerships throughout their 20 overs. India just managed to take wickets throughout, just stop the flow of runs. And India took full advantage of that small target in the power play, and that's where the game was won or lost in that second innings. India taking advantage of the power play, not losing wickets. Shafali Verma up top, outstanding again. And then those little partnerships just managed to get India over the line. And my word, are they looking like a good team. They are looking like a team that's played a lot of T20 cricket. They're looking like a team that have got players playing against the best all around the world. The WPL, you can see the difference in standard from 2-3 years ago to now, between the girls that are coming in, the bowlers that they have, the people they've got on the bench, the people that aren't even here. They're not even here playing. India are going to be a very, very good team in 2 or 3 years.
Well, look, a good team now, Alex,
Yeah.
I have to say. And England, the inquest will start. How deep and far-reaching they need to be remains to be seen. But what I would say is it was another below-par performance from an England team who have high expectations, expect to be at least number 2 in the world. They don't look it at the moment.
No, I agree, Henry. I fear watching this series and watching where England are at the minute. I thought after the first game that England just had a bad day, and I thought India just had a really good day. But it looks to me that India have just gotten so much better.
I'm with you. I think that India look like the team that is the well-oiled machine that looks like they know exactly what every player's role is. They look settled, they look solid. And I'm afraid England, with so many players failing to get going in their innings, you look at, for me, the statistic that stands out is the fact that across England's innings, nobody really got a strike rate well north of 100. You've got 4 players that at least were going it quicker than a run a ball, but Sophie Ecclestone's blitz at the end of 16 off 10 was pretty much as good as it got in terms of strike rate. 22 off 19 for Dunkley, but then you look at how it was approached by particularly India's top order. Shafali Verma, 31 off 19.
Well, that's the difference. That's the difference, isn't it? All it takes is somebody to go at a strike rate of 180, 200 when you're only chasing 120 and the game's over. So everyone else just then had to chip in around. You know, Mandana, sorry, I've interrupted you going through the scorecard, but got 30 off 30. Similar again, further down the order. But Verma's done the damage and India have managed to get over the line.
Well, they have, and they've got there with 3 overs exactly to spare. What would you say would be the bright spots in England's performance? With the ball, you'd say Ecclestone went 4 overs, 1 for 20, showed good economy. Izzy Wong, 3 overs, 1 for 18. But an expensive night for Bell and Filer, and also Capsey with her 1 over. And Charlie Dean, 4 overs, 1 for 29, was okay, but again didn't look that threatening.
Yeah, I think as a bowling unit, England actually look really good. Ecclestone, as we said, has got better and better as the games have gone on. You know, that first game, I was really worried that she wasn't quite ready to come back, but she looks right at home. She's economical, she's taking wickets, she's doing her job. And bowlers on any given day have backed her up. Bell's been excellent in the field and with the ball throughout this series. Good to see Izzy Wong back. We just haven't had a full performance with the ball in hand and not bowled in partnerships, not being able to build pressure. So that's been something that has just been missing ever so slightly with the ball. Having said that, when you've not got enough runs on the board, today there's not much the bowlers can do, really.
No. And that's the worry, isn't it? That those runs on the board, England have struggled for them. And yeah, it's a surface where it's been a little harder than others to come by, but you look at the margins of victory as well, Alex. 97 runs in the first game, 24 runs in this game. England won that last match by 5 runs, but India winning this game by 6 wickets. I mean, those aren't scraping over the line. Those are pretty comprehensive wins.
Yeah, especially in T20 cricket. That first one was a mammoth win, wasn't it? You know, Smitty. Mandana getting a century in the first game was so good, but yeah, They've beaten England comfortably in the 3 games that they've won out of the 4.
So what will Charlotte Edwards be looking at in terms of the agenda that she needs to be assessing, or what will she have learned about where this team needs to improve?
Yeah, I think the learning is more of what Edwards needs to be looking at now, because as I said earlier, she hasn't been in charge of this team for very long, and when she did take over, it was at the start of the international summer or a few weeks before. So, you know, England's inability to play spin isn't anything she can change before this series. You know, they can face more spin, they can do a little bit more work on it, yes, but you know, you can't take the girls on a camp, you can't go to India before a World Cup, you can't go to Abu Dhabi and ask for turning pitches.
But England have only got 4 more matches this summer.
They have indeed.
One more
before a World
T20
Cup.
and then 3 ODIs against India.
And England haven't played in Asia since 2019, and there's a 50 over World Cup there in October.
Yeah.
So it's
And
not,
they can't play spin.
it's not going to be easy.
It won't be easy, but that's why coaches and captains get paid the big bucks, I suppose.
Yeah,
relatively.
absolutely. And I suppose, on the other hand, whatever happens in October, it's speculation from now, obviously, a lot can change from then. If England don't make semis or they don't win a final, I don't necessarily think that's a loss, because they've got to build towards that 20 over World Cup here in 2026.
Yeah, and there's work to do, unquestionably. India, a triumph for them. Alex, thank you very much indeed. They've won this game, India, by 6 wickets, chasing down 127 here with 17 overs required only, and 6 wickets in a hand. It was an outstanding performance, it really was. England struggled with the bat once again, 126 for 7. Top scoring was Dunkley with 22 off 19. India, meanwhile, had Mandana 32, Verma 31, and Harmanpreet 26 before Rodrigues got India over the line with an unbeaten 24.